It's a 5-star reviews and an A+ on the Better Business Bureau. Call Coast One Tax Group, 800-242-3186. Stanley from New York owed $93,000. The IRS placed a levy on his bank account. Coast One released the levy and settled with the IRS for $2,000. Mark in Michigan owed $225,000. After Coast One stepped in, Mark walked away paying less than $1,500. Call Coast One now. A 10-minute call can save you up to 93% on your back taxes. Get your fresh start today. That's 800-242-3186.
Sponsored by Coast One Financial Group.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There is a tremendous price war in the term life industry. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man aged 45, non-smoker, can get $1 million of coverage for $75 per month, level rate for 10 years. Or a man aged 50, non-smoker, can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of $110, level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-smoker rate class. Exam required to qualify.
Insight, info, and trends to help you win, all in one place. We are 8:50 a.m. Boston, an Odyssey station.
Started to think about my struggles with anxiety, with self-esteem, with self-image. It sort of occurred to me that maybe I do have something to say that could be additive to a social conversation about maybe taboo issues. And so I started to mess around, and somebody was crazy enough to, give me money to do this. And the result is this book I'm very proud of. And
you should be. It's fun, Josh Gad. It's a fun book. By the way, our radio audience just rejoined us in the middle of your last answer. The radio audience back here on the Rich Eisen Show. In Gad We Trust, where all books are sold. There it is, the full cover.
Can your radio audience see this?
No, I'll describe it. It's you in religious garb.
This is right.
I would say. Which is a play towards maybe the Book of Mormon as well? It's an homage?
It's an homage. It's a gentle homage.
Okay. Again, as a fellow Jew, I don't think Mormons dress that way.
They don't. I found that out the hard way. We took the picture, and then I was like, "Oh, Mormons don't wear this."
Well, and speaking of our mutual religion, Sacha Baron Cohen wrote the foreword of this book. And called you, you are in the top 3 Afghan Jewish Floridians in the business.
Yes, it was thank you, Sasha.
I mean, that's quite a small subset of individuals.
So when I thought about when I thought about what that actually provided me in terms of cachet, I'm not sure it did much, but
right, okay.
But it was well intended, I believe.
Yeah, top 3 Afghan Jewish Floridians
I want to know
in the
who
business.
The other 2 are, and Sasha has not provided me with answers.
Is one of them in the front office of the Miami Dolphins?
Oh, God,
I have no idea.
Soon.
Why is it too soon?
How's my team gonna be?
Listen,
I love it when I wrote you the other day, and you're like, if inside linebacker's your thing, man. I think I got you covered.
Because you were wondering how I was envisioning their free agent plans at the time of us texting one another. But it's all a puzzle piece, man. Like they're just putting pieces in now. We'll see who they can draft. You never know who you're going to draft. You need Tua to be healthy. That's it.
Yeah.
Because as a fellow Jet fan, Zach Wilson as the backup, he can get you 3-4 weeks, seriously, and I think he's going to be better.
3-4 plays.
No, he can actually win you some games, but to actually win you the AFC East, I don't know if he'll do that.
Do you miss Rich Kotite?
With every fiber of my being.
Were those the heydays?
Those, if there were any days that had hay in them, it was like, hey, why am I still a Jet fan days? But he's a fellow Staten Islander. He's from my hometown.
Kotite?
Yeah, Kotite. What was the
Bobby
Cannavale, because he's a Jet fan as well. He once upon a time said the Jets were bad, but not Kotite bad.
Yeah,
and he used Kotite's name as sort of an adjective. Yeah. And then we came up with the jingle that you're not fully bad unless you're Kotite bad. You know,
I love this.
These are the Jets fans who just huddle up together and try and get through the storm.
We forget, but I think the Jets have a more recent playoff victory than the Miami Dolphins at this point.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I think so.
Like I haven't seen the Dolphins in my lifetime compete or sniff the Super Bowl. Closest was when I was a kid and Dan Marino got there once, but like that's it.
Have you met the coach yet through your fandom at all?
I have not met Coach McDaniel.
I think you'd like him.
I love him. He's got I loved his 2024 Miami Vice vibe, and I actually think he's a really outstanding coach who's going to continue to blossom. I just wish that some of the plays weren't as cute as they are. And I thought that, or it appeared obvious to me that everybody in the league figured us out last year. And I think you need to be able to adapt. And I think you will. I think this season is going to be hopefully X's and O's again and just getting back to the basics a little bit.
And the defense just has to tighten the bolts a little bit here, obviously. You know, we gotta do that. And I still think that they're the best threat to the Bills in the division. I think they are.
I think New England is they have so much cap space. They're terrifying to me. I think they have a really outstanding young quarterback. And I'm a little concerned that they have a great coach now who's going to figure it out quickly.
Go on.
They see. Don't feed the animals.
Yeah, because you guys haven't had enough success in your lifetime.
There are 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds who haven't seen a Patriots parade. Think of the kids, Josh.
There's a 44-year-old on this couch who hasn't seen a parade in his lifetime. Think of this young man here.
I mean,
this new Aaron Rodgers of his generation.
Point taken.
Got you there, Chris.
Fins up!
Where would a parade be in Miami?
Biscayne.
Yeah?
Probably Biscayne.
Is that where it would be? Well, where did the Heat have one when they won it?
I think the Heat do it on Biscayne, and we haven't had one of those in a while either. It's Panthers. I don't know where the Panthers
Where
did
the Panthers do it?
Well, Panthers are closer to Sawgrass, so I imagine that they did it in Broward. The Panthers look incredible. There's a team that's like teasing dynasty.
Yeah,
like it's really crazy.
Well, if you got a Kachuk, you're in good business.
Oh God, so good.
How great did you take in any of that Four Nations hockey stuff or no? That the Kachucks were down.
I got into it because social media forced me into it. I didn't come to it naturally.
Right.
Like I really enjoy watching the Panthers, but my passion is football, basketball.
Yes.
And baseball to a certain extent. So hockey is like the only reason I'm into hockey is because the Panthers are really good.
Yes.
But I loved that Four Nations series. That was incredible.
That was great.
And sort of what the NBA should be
no doubt
doing.
Well, I mean, it happened in the same weekend as the All-Star game, where it was yet another weekend in which, like, you're wondering if the NBA players are really into it, and then you're watching hockey players dropping gloves 3 times in the first 9 seconds of a puck drop. It was a complete contrast.
I didn't even watch live because I think that was the weekend I was at the SNL 50th celebration.
Oh,
and
that was that weekend.
And I watched it. I recorded it, and it was that good that I didn't know the result. And then I went back and watched it.
How was the SNL 50?
Incredible. I had to leave to come back the Sunday that they did the actual 50th.
So you went to
I did the concert.
Radio City?
The Radio City, and it was like the single greatest concert I've ever been to.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Who did you see that you were like?
I mean,
jacked about?
look, being a Nirvana fan, the post Nirvana with Post Malone headlining was like just one of the craziest things I've ever seen. But it was just like the totality of it, just seeing generational musicians side by side was like, felt like a modern Woodstock. Like, it was just wild. It was incredible.
So who did you run into? You got a good story from that one?
Everybody. There was a moment when I was going to the bathroom and I was sandwiched between Larry David, Adam Sandler, Billy Crystal, Mike Myers. It was Bryan Cranston. Like, it was just, it was one of those nights where it's like you couldn't turn without seeing somebody.
I'm mandated to follow up. When you say you're crammed in between in the men's room, not the same stall, right? I mean, like, that would be weird.
No, we all had to share one stall. Radio City has very...
By the way...
It was a trough like Wrigley Field.
Yes, it's a Wrigley Field style trough.
Yeah, it's like the ancient Roman...
Yeah. No, we were actually all like outside of the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Although that would be far greater if we were all just sharing like one little...
It's the greatest Mad Lib ever.
And like, I'm so much shorter in every way to Warren Beatty. And I just froze.
Yeah.
And I heard his strong waterfall to my like soft little trickle. And it was just really upsetting. It was just really upsetting.
I guess that's what happens when, he had to have at one point had to pee next to like Andy Warhol, right? You know what I mean?
No, I don't think
like he's got
I
experience.
don't think with what he's working with, at least according to the sound, I don't think he's ever had a moment where he's gone on a subsequent radio show and been like, he had the upper hand. That never happened with Warren.
And here I thought the song "You're So Vain" was about his personality. Ladies and gentlemen. Wow. In Gad we trust. We're all books to be acquired.
Yes, please buy my new book. And also, I have a book.
And another thing.
Radio people, we're holding it up.
So, listen, when you write a book, you want someone to buy it to read the stories. So I don't want to spoil too much, but there are a couple things I want to ask specifically about from your book. The first adventure in Los Angeles, where you showed up to an ex's house and her new boyfriend was there.
Yeah,
and
doesn't tell me who her boyfriend is. She wasn't an ex, but a good friend.
Okay,
and she invites me over there. And I show up, and there's this very large door, and the door opens, and it's Jeff Goldblum and my friend, both in matching bathrobes, welcoming in to their palatial estate. And I go inside, and they sit. There's like this triangular figuration of these little cushions, and they're sort of like on the equal side, and I'm the little triangle, and I'm facing them in their like very revealing bathrobes. And Jeff starts playing a Meisner exercise game with me, which is like where you say a word and then the other actor repeats it. And it was the most surreal, wild experience of my life. And then he ends this game and he goes, "Oh, you're good. You should audit my class." And I was like, "What? Audit? You have a class? And you need me to do your class? You're Jeff Goldblum. You don't need me."
Oh my God.
So I never did audit his class. Although, like, if you're still teaching, Jeff, I would like to now audit this class.
I think you should.
Because, like, now I regret it.
This story sounds like it was filled, chock full of awkward silence.
It it was one of the weirdest experiences of my life, but also like one that I'm so grateful to have had.
Of course, you got to live in the moment,
and
man.
I see him randomly at like social events, but I don't have the courage to go up to him because I'm sure he doesn't remember. So I don't have the courage to like go up to him and like ask him about where those bathrobes are.
I was going to go that the most odd part about it is matching bathrobes.
Yeah, I just, but like maybe it was sort of like some sort of like prank or something. I've never quite figured it out.
You've been punked? You were being punked at the time? Harrison Ford denied you a selfie.
That's the greatest.
What happened?
I was at a party, was walking with Haley Steinfeld. They had just done a movie together, and Haley goes over and takes a picture with him. And I had worked with Harrison years before on a terrible movie called Crossing Over. And we had gotten a picture, and I looked like Rosie O'Donnell in the picture. And I wanted another picture. Not that the Rosie is beautiful, but I shouldn't look like Rosie. And I go up to Harrison. Now I'm wearing, I have my hair done. I'm wearing a nice tuxedo. And I go, Harrison, I would love to take Mr. Ford, I'd love to take a picture with you. And he goes, no. And I said, but you just took a picture with that little girl. And he goes, I know. She's a little girl. Wow. By the way, greatest way to not get a picture with Harrison Ford. Like, that is a story that is worth more than any picture with Harrison Ford.
If only somebody took a picture of you having this conversation
I
with him.
know.
That would have been so meta. Oh, my God.
Where's the paparazzi when you want them?
Haley Steinfeld, the future bride of the one individual who might make you the most miserable as a football fan over the next 5 years.
Taylor, my exec who works with me, she's sitting over there, die-hard Bills fan.
As is the coordinating producer of this show, listening to this conversation. Yeah. He can confirm that. That's for sure.
You guys should have gone to the Super Bowl this season.
You know what? There was a ton of Chiefs fatigue in this nation on that AFC Championship Sunday.
Yes, and it made me laugh so hard because then everybody was reminded of how awful Philadelphia fans are in victory. And they all got fatigue within 1 hour of that win.
Eagles
and I was on that bandwagon. I was like, I'm done with the Chiefs. Oh, God, give me the Chiefs back. Like, if you burn your city after you win, guys, you're missing the plot. Like, that's the good stuff. This is what we all want.
Oh, my gosh. 1 hour after the Super Bowl, you've got Eagles fatigue. That's pretty damn fast.
Didn't take long.
Yeah, and then they re-signed Saquon all that money.
Can you explain to me
Sure.
how they manage to maintain that roster? How everybody else in this league has to give up they have to give up 3 to save 1. How do the Eagles do it?
Well, twofold. First of all, that's a very Joe Burrow question he's asking there in Cincinnati about wanting to sign everybody there, too. I don't know. I'm not a capologist. I don't play one on TV. I just know that they've got some really smart people, starting with the general manager, who signs his guys early.
That's the key.
Helps. That is the key. Helps to go to Devontae Smith and say, how would you like to sign? And he signs for less than what A.J. Brown signs for, who's now a bargain compared to what, DK Metcalf is making or CeeDee Lamb is making. The Bengals haven't signed Jamar Chase yet, as you know. He's rightfully going to ask for, money between Max Crosby and Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, but if you did it last year before the season, then it would be a different story, and he'd be signed, and you wouldn't be in this soup potentially right now.
No, the Philadelphia GM is unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
He's a University of Florida graduate.
Is he a Gator?
He is a Gator.
Oh, I love him even more.
And Howie.
Do people know this, that I'm a Gator fan?
I did not know that.
Both my brothers are Gators. Both my brothers went to UF.
So, Howie Roseman is a Gator who just sitting in that chair a couple of weeks ago, We heard the story from his college roommate, who happens to be Coach Fish, who coaches University of Washington now. He told the story of how they were roommates at the University of Florida, and Howie, in their room together, was trying to pick the draft picks for the Jets, who were his favorite team in college.
Oh, my
Because he wanted to be a general manager when he grew up or got out of college.
That's unreal.
So that's, he's been born to do it.
Yeah.
Does that give you an answer?
That gave me like a longer answer than I ever asked for, but yes, I love it. Like, I never imagined you giving me his full backstory going back to school.
Yes. And so before I let you go, in this book, there is a chapter.
This is my book. It's called In Gad We Trust. It's on sale now, radio people.
Wherever you get your books, here, I can place it exactly where the camera's supposed to catch it. There it is. That's production value.
Thank you.
That there's a one-page chapter written by Ron Howard about Ron Howard that that reeks of you asking him as well as Sacha Baron Cohen for a forward, and you didn't think both of them would actually
That is exactly what happened. I asked three of them. I asked Mel Brooks, Sacha Baron Cohen, and Ron. Sacha got back to me first.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh no, I need to give these guys additional space in my book.
Right.
So that's when I came up with the afterword and the Howard for Ron.
Oh, that's funny.
And Mel, how did you ever? Give me your Mel Brooks connection here, man.
Mel is so we're working together on an independent film called Spaceballs 2 right now. And
are you serious?
What?
Yes.
Excuse me? Can you say all that? Just rewind, say it again.
Mel Brooks and I are currently working together on a project called Spaceballs 2.
Wow.
And he has been the most exquisite partner. He's so I have our sessions recorded for posterity because the world needs to see how brilliant he is and how electric he is at 98 years old still. The guy he doesn't miss a beat. He doesn't miss a beat.
Dude.
So yeah, wait, let me see the book for a second.
Of course.
So the end of the book, I asked him to write me something. And he goes, I give him the afterword because, again, he responded after Sacha did. But he writes in the book, wait, where is it?
I love this.
He writes in the book, he goes, "Dear Josh, I know I promised you a wonderful blurb for your new book, but after reading it, I find myself struggling to say something nice. If I get a positive thought that's not too destructive, I'll send it along. All the best, Mel." I mean, like, that is my hero for a reason.
So, are we getting the gang back together for this?
We'll
film?
talk off camera and off radio.
Okay.
I will get killed by the Amazon MGM executives
all right.
if I say any words about this movie that are not yet sanctioned.
Okay.
But watch this.
Space.
Very well done.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Gad.
Unbelievable.
In Gad We Trust.
So I'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go.
Tuesdays with Gad.
Tuesdays with Gad.
Very excited about
Anything you want to talk about for 45 unfettered minutes. Josh Gad right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Everybody get this book wherever you can get right now. Andrew Bogish is joining us right now with a sports update.
Infinity Sports Network. Sports Flash.
And Rich, your update sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Insurance for motorcycles, boats, and RVs for protection on the road and on the water. See how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. 48 games in men's college basketball today. The first one tipped off at 11 a.m. Eastern. The last scheduled tip is 11:30 p.m. On the floor right now, Georgia Tech is leading Duke 26-17 in the ACC quarterfinals, late first quarter. Cooper Flagg, though, dealing with what appears to be a left ankle injury at this very moment. Now, overnight, shortly after losing its Big Ten opener, Minnesota fired head coach Ben Johnson after 4 seasons. Russell Wilson is visiting the Browns today, the Giants tomorrow. His former team, the Steelers, has re-signed backup QB Mason Rudolph, 2 years and $4.5 million guaranteed. The Patriots releasing longtime center David Andrews, whose playing future a bit unclear following shoulder surgery. Andrews, an 8-year captain, 2-time Super Bowl champ. And the Tampa Bay Rays just announced that they can no longer commit to their new stadium project for St. Petersburg. I'm Andrew Bogish.
Hey, like us on Facebook. Our handle is INF Sportsnet. That's INF Sportsnet for our Facebook page. This is the Infinity Sports Network.
We crunch the numbers so you don't have to. This is WEEI, 8:50 a.m., Boston, an Odyssey station.
For the ones who get it done, Granger offers high-quality supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and experience to answer your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call clickgranger.com or just stop by.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
I juggle a lot. And managing constipation with belly pain from my irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, with laxatives and fiber isn't enough. My doctor recommended a way to get ahead of it. Then I said yes to Linzess.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LANZESS.
The IRS, the world's most aggressive collection agency. They can seize your property, bank account, and garnish your wages. They cause sleepless nights for millions of Americans. Don't be one of them. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, get protected today. Call 800-242-3186. Coast One Tax Group, protecting your bank, home, and your sleep since 2008. With hundreds of 5-star reviews and an A+ on the Better Business Bureau. Call Coast One Tax Group, 800-242-3186. Stanley from New York owed $93,000. The IRS placed a levy on his bank account. Coast One released the levy and settled with the IRS for $2,000. Mark in Michigan owed $225,000. After Coast One stepped in, Mark walked away paying less than $1,500. Call Coast One now. A 10-minute call can save you up to 93% on your back taxes. Get your fresh start today. That's 800-242-3186.
Sponsored by Coast One Financial Group.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There is a tremendous price war in the term life industry. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man aged 45, non-smoker, can get $1 million of coverage for $75 per month, level rate for 10 years. Or a man aged 50, non-smoker, can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of $110, level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-smoker rate class. Exam required to qualify.
Insight, info, and trends. And oh yeah, lots of fun along the way. This is WEEI 850 AM, Boston, an Odyssey station.
Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show Radio Network. I'm sitting at the Rich Eisen Show desk furnished by Granger with supplies and solutions for every industry. Granger has the right product for you. Call clickgranger.com or just stop by. Still no Aaron Rodgers news, correct? Nothing.
Nothing.
A big load of nothing.
Nothing. Big load of nothing.
A big whole bowl of nothing.
Sorry, folks.
And where everyone's wondering where Rodgers is. Again, he's coming soon to Max as the star of the Green and White Lotus. There it is.
That's funny.
It's what it looks like, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks
the
like...
RE original, the Green and White Lotus. Well done. Was this Smitch? Was this a Smitch special? D-Lo, it's special. Well done,
The
D-Lo.
only Steelers news that we do have, Rich, is per Adam Schefter, Kyle Juszczyk is visiting the Steelers today.
Oh, boy, that is a Steeler, if I've ever heard of a Steeler. YL in Pittsburgh, you're on the Rich Eisen Show. What's up, YL?
Hey, what's up, Rich? Boys, how you guys doing?
What's up, YL?
Finish up.
Long time no talk, man.
Finish up hour one with a flourish, YL. Go for it.
So, Tomlin, I heard that, I can't remember who was on your show and said that Tomlin got an extension and
yes,
he's not going to get let go. And
no,
am I right by saying that?
He's not going anywhere, YL. That's correct.
Man, that's just the worst news that I've ever heard when I read that. Look, he's where I see he's 0-5 in quarterbacks since Big Ben's gone. If you remember, I asked you what happened to Russell and why he felt like he went backwards. There was an article that came out that said that Tomlin did not allow him to change the calls at the line, right? So, if he micromanages these quarterbacks, regardless who you bring in, I told my son, Rodgers, Richardson, Tomlin, as long as Tomlin's there, we will not win another Super Bowl. And it's a shame. It's a shame, right? Because we got a lot of good players. Look at what's his name? They went to Philly.
No, I know. You're talking about Pickett and YL. We're out of time at the end of the first hour. No, I got you, YL. Thanks. I'm sorry. We're out of the time.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
St. Patty's Day's here, so come and see. Total Wine and More's the place to be. Whiskey Smooth or Guinness Tall, we've got the best, come grab it all. An Irish coffee, bold and sweet, or something new, a tasty treat. Not sure yet, don't fret or fear, our friendly guides will bring good cheer. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Paying too much for term life insurance? There is a tremendous price war in the term life industry. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man aged 45, non-smoker, can get $1 million of coverage for $75 per month, level rate for 10 years. Or a man aged 50, non-smoker, can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of $110, level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-smoker rate class. Exam required to qualify.
And just like that, gold prices hit yet another all-time highs.
Investors, central banks, billionaires from all around the world are flocking to own physical gold and silver. And guess what? Your chance to get off the sidelines and join this bull market is right now. My name is Jeremy Blossom. I'm with Advantage Gold, the #1 customer-rated gold company in America, and we have a free gold investment guide to help you understand what's going on and, more importantly, how to own physical gold and silver. All you need to do is call us at 1-800-900-8000 today, and we'll rush you this guide. It's 1-800-900-8000. Get our free gold investment guide and learn why now is the right time to own physical gold and silver. And if you call now, you could also earn up to $1,000 in free silver. What are you waiting for? Get off the sidelines. Call 1-800-900-8000 today.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
Do you have a special needs child or an older adult in your home? The risk of them leaving the house unnoticed is real and terrifying. But you can protect your loved ones with Vivint Home Security.
Alarm on.
Our child has autism. He doesn't usually elope, but one day he did, and it was the most terrifying moment of our lives.
If I didn't have a home security system, I would have realized way too late he's gone.
Right now, Vivint is offering a free doorbell camera with any new plan, plus free installation and low monthly monitoring plans. Smart locks, lights, cameras, and more make Vivint Home Security the smartest way to protect your family and prevent a tragedy. Vivint is the #1 smart home service provider in the U.S. Protection is just a phone call away. Call 800-953-6693. That's 800-953-6693. Monthly service agreement required for free installation.
The IRS, the world's most aggressive collection agency. They can seize your property, bank account, and garnish your wages. They cause sleepless nights for millions of Americans. Don't be one of them. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, get protected today. Call 800-242-3186. Coast One Tax Group, protecting your bank, home, and your sleep since 2008. With hundreds of 5-star reviews and an A+ on the Better Business Bureau. Call Coast One Tax Group, 800-242-3186. Stanley from New York owed $93,000. The IRS placed a levy on his bank account. Coast One released the levy and settled with the IRS for $2,000. Mark in Michigan owed $225,000. After Coast One stepped in, Mark walked away paying less than $1,500. Call Coast One now. A 10-minute call can save you up to 93% on your back taxes. Get your fresh start today. That's 800-242-3186.
Sponsored by Coast One Financial Group.
This is The Bet, WEEI, 850 AM, Boston. Part of the Bet MGM Network. An Odyssey sports station and Boston's home for wagertainment. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is The Rich Eisen Show.
Hey, everybody.
Can't get enough of The Rich Eisen Show? You're in luck. You can find us everywhere. Watch us weekdays on the Roku Sports Channel from noon to 3 Eastern. Miss the show? We've got a podcast so you can listen anytime. But here's the best part. Our YouTube channel. Subscribe at youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show and you'll never miss a moment. Now, on with the show.
We are very excited to be broadcasting to you live
from the Rich Eisen Show studio in Los Angeles.
Rodgers is too weird.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
Hey, Brett Favre, can you pipe down with this he should play for the Vikings talk? It would be full-on proof that the football gods hate the Jets if Rodgers goes to Minnesota.
The Rich Eisen Show. Earlier on the show, actor Josh Gad. Coming up, Steelers Radio Network host Jerry Dulac. Plus, actor Dennis Leary. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
Hour number 2 of the Rich Eisen Show is on the air. We just said goodbye to Josh Gad. We're going to say hello to Dennis Leary in hour number 3. Lots going on in our neighborhood. And, of course, in between Josh Gad and Dennis Leary, we got to have our guy, Jerry Dulac, because everything's going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's the way we roll here on this program at 844-204-RICH is the number to dial right here. And we'll take your phone calls. I got a top 5 list of my top 5 most under-the-radar acquisitions to date this week of the new league year in the National Football League. But joining us is our friend from Pittsburgh, Steelers Radio Network host and a man who's been covering this team forever and a day. Our friend Jerry Dulac is back. How you doing, Jerry?
Hey, Rich, I am good. I hope you are too, brother. All well, though, other than being very busy, as you can imagine.
I am sure. And we thought, when we first initially reached out to you this week, that by this point in time of the week, we'd have a little bit more clarity than we clearly do right now when you and I are talking 1 Eastern time on Thursday of new league year week. What's going on with the Steelers right now, best you can tell? Jerry?
Yeah, I thought when we made preliminary plans that was going to interfere with, a possible, a deal being done. And here we are 4 days in from the start of the legal tampering period and nothing. I was told last night around 10 o'clock that, the issue, it's not about money. I thought maybe that Aaron Rodgers was going to be playing one side off the other to up the ante because there aren't many other options out there, both for Rodgers and, of course, for the Steelers. But that's not the case. I was told that it's not about money. It's just about him taking his time, basically Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers and not in any hurry to commit to anything. And so the question then to be begged is, how long will this go on? What is the Steelers' timetable? Rich, I don't know that they have a timetable, to be honest with you. I haven't been told that there is one or isn't one. And I think the fact that Russell Wilson decided to go interview with the Browns today and the Giants tomorrow, according to a report, would indicate that he is getting impatient too, because he all along has wanted to come back to the Steelers. And I think that he was thinking that was possibly going to be the case, and it is a possibility. But I think maybe he thinks, look, I got to look out for myself, and I'm tired of waiting as well. And so out he goes to go visit a couple other teams.
All right, so let's take this one at a time. What is the question that Rodgers needed answered by the Steelers, best you can tell, that he's sitting on right now?
I don't know that answer, Rich. And of course, the way Aaron Rodgers is, I'm not sure anybody knows that answer. If you look at the two options that he allegedly has, the Giants and the Steelers, well, the Steelers would be a no-brainer because, one, the Giants won 3 games last year. The Steelers were a playoff team. 2, the Giants have the 3rd overall pick in the draft. They're going to take a quarterback. And why would Aaron Rodgers want to go across the town and walk into a situation where the fans are just waiting to clamor for the rookie number 1? And so going to the Giants makes zero amount of sense unless their offer is ridiculous, which New York teams tend to do, which is what we saw with Justin Fields. So you would think the Steelers would be the best landing spot for him, especially because of Mike Tomlin, as opposed to Brian Daboll. Nothing against him, but I have to think that unless he decides to retire, that the Steelers are the best spot for him.
Okay, and what about the Vikings? Isn't that an option? Wouldn't that be more of a viable option? You think that's a threat to the Steelers getting Rodgers than the Giants then, Jerry?
Perhaps, except at the same deal. You're dealing with J.J. McCarthy. I mean, they let Sam Darnold go after 14-3 because they know J.J. McCarthy's their guy. So why would he want to walk into that situation where he knows everybody wants, the fans and everybody want to see J.J. McCarthy? So again, if that's a possibility, that doesn't make any sense to me either. But then, hey, Aaron Rodgers doesn't make a lot of sense to me, Rich.
And he said... Any sense? You caught me with that one, Jerry.
I'm glad I did. It's hard to do, Rich.
No, that's okay. Is there any sense of how long of a commitment the Steelers are willing to give Rodgers, Jerry?
Well, I can't, to be honest, I can't imagine it's more than 2 years. And if it is, it would only probably be because of cap purposes. Rich, they had talks with Sam Darnold. And so Sam Darnold would have been more of a 3-year type of deal. But Aaron Rodgers, I think it's going to be 1 year and no more than 2. And again, if it's 2, it might be just to spread out some cap space. But I don't think their intention is to go anything longer than that. I think it's the same situation as Russell Wilson last year. Bring in a proven guy who's won a Super Bowl, who's probably headed to the Hall of Fame. to try to immediately get this thing back on track by winning a playoff game. And the immediacy is still a big point of emphasis for them. Bring in the guy that can immediately get them back on track. Not be a Super Bowl contender necessarily, because I don't think they're that. But how about winning a playoff game? And I think that's where they are. You know, Russell Wilson had a one-year deal. We know all the financial implications with what he was owed from Denver. But I think it's a very similar situation. And I couldn't imagine it being any more than 2 years, Rich.
So then let's talk about the fit of Rodgers and the Steelers, Jerry, because I've said here that if I was Rodgers, I'd be working nonstop to get to the Steelers. And I've been saying that the Steelers should want Rodgers based on the current landscape of everything that's going on right now. And I get so much pushback from Steelers fans saying this is such not a Steeler move. And for two reasons. One, let's take one at a time. First one is that for all the years that the Rooneys have been there, and certainly Tomlin with the Rooneys, ayahuasca is maybe the name of an outside linebacker of South American descent that they'd be interested in. You know what I mean? So how is Rodgers a fit with this organization, Jerry?
Well, Rich, I really don't think he is. And I think this move is being orchestrated by Mike Tomlin. Now, Mike Tomlin's not going to tell Art Rooney II what to do, but there is no question in my mind this is something that he wants to happen. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, Rich, same deal. The majority of the feedback I get is pushback. Steeler fans are somewhat surprised that the Steelers would want a player with, let's face it, you know, some I don't want to say character issues, but he's a different duck, as we all know. And so he's going to be 42. His team won 5 games last year, and he had Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams and Alan Lazard to throw to. The Steelers didn't have that here. And of course, they've added, DK Metcalf, but I don't think he's a great fit. And here's the other thing. If Arthur Smith had problems with the way Russell Wilson wanted to play last year, what do you think he's going to have happen with Aaron Rodgers, a guy who's already had 2 head coaches fired when it came to a headbutt? So now I say that, and I know Arthur Smith would love to have Aaron Rodgers, but I don't know that, you know, to use Terry Bradshaw's old expression, I don't know that he's as much of a mailman as he is a gunslinger. So if the Steelers want to run the ball, Aaron Rodgers has thrown over 500 passes each of his last 6 seasons. For all those reasons, I don't think it's a great fit.
Pushing back a little bit here is I don't think Rodgers got Saleh fired. I got to be pushing back there, and certainly
that's fine. You
know, McCarthy and him might not have seen eye to eye, but that run seemed to be over as well. But the locker room, again, you know, I tongue firmly planted in cheek with ayahuasca, because that is, you know, part and part that did happen last year, where he did go on a previously planned trip to Egypt, just as there was a mandatory mini camp that the Jets easily could have moved but didn't. There was stuff going on behind the scenes that I don't know was his doing or not. But I do bring this up because there is part and parcel of Rodgers that other quarterbacks that they could be interested in don't bring to the equation. In the same way, the things that Russ brings to the equation that Rodgers doesn't. But one thing that you did say earlier, Jerry, is like, you know, the Steelers are in a position of like, let's get a veteran in here just to win a playoff game. Steelers fans always push back. It never used to be, hey, let's win the wild card. It's let's win the Super Bowl. And that's where the question is like, why aren't the Steelers just looking at a rookie class, if it's not this year or next, and going and finding the next Big Ben, going and finding your next Josh Allen or your next Lamar, your next Patrick? I understand that those are tough to find, but the Steelers haven't appeared to be in that game the last couple of drafts, Jerry.
Right. Well, Rich, as you know, they did that with Kenny Pickett, and of course that didn't work out. But I think that is the next step in this equation. There's no question about it. And that's why I thought the safe thing this year would have been you bring back Russell Wilson. Let's face it, they won 10 games. Yeah, I know Justin Fields started the season. But, there were a lot of good things with Russell Wilson leading up to the beginning of December until they lost those final 5 games, including the playoffs. So I thought, bringing back Russell Wilson and then addressing the position in the draft. Maybe not as high as you would think they would need to go. There's probably only 2 quarterbacks. So let's face it, 2 are going to go in the first 3 picks. But I think regardless, I think you will see them try to take a quarterback, one of the guys they like, maybe into the 3rd round if they are still there. But I don't think there's any question, if not this year, then next year. That is the way they're going to go, because they can't keep playing musical chairs with veteran quarterbacks. You know, they brought Mason Rudolph back. Good for him. I like Mason. They brought him in to be a backup, not to be a potential starter. You know, this thing is still going to be worked out. At least certainly the Steelers hope so, with Rodgers in their favor. But I don't think there's any question. Look, they're not stupid. They know it's time to go back to the draft and find a quarterback. The question's just going to be how high, and is it this year or next year, when next year they might have to make a move to move up even higher.
Any names in this year's draft? Dart, Chuck,
I know.
What do you got for me on that front?
Well, I know they like Jackson Dart, and I know they like Will Howard, despite how he looked at the combine. You know, and there were about 5 or 6 guys they scouted at the combine heavily, but I would say probably those 2 if you're looking for somebody higher than normal, as opposed to maybe a 4th and 5th round pick.
Interesting. A few minutes left here with Jerry Dulac, who's been, again, covering the Steelers forever and a day. Let's talk Russ. You know, he would be welcomed back in the building if if Rodgers says no, or how did things end that you're willing to share, or that you know, and how are things potentially moving forward with him?
Yeah, I don't think. You know, Rich, I don't think the players had a problem with Russ. You know, Russ is a pro's pro. And you know, yeah, okay, I can't speak to what happened in Seattle or Denver, but what I know happened with his relationship with the offensive coordinator is maybe some of the stuff that happened in his other 2 places. But, you know, Russ is always trying to be a leader. That's both offensively and defensively. And so I don't think the players would have a huge problem with him being back. But there is no question, if that would happen, then Russell and Arthur Smith have to be put in a room and sat down and told, look, whatever differences occurred here at the end of the season, you guys better hammer it out, because this is the way it is. And if you don't, there's going to be a problem. So I don't know that the players would have an issue. Maybe some of the coaches would have an issue. But I don't know that it would be a problem internally in the locker room. Because to me, Rich, look, you're going to need some stability, and having the same quarterback 2 years in a row for them is some semblance of a stability for a franchise that had a quarterback for 18 years. So to me, that's why I thought that was the safest move for them.
Well, ironing things out internally appears to be a Tomlin lane that he's an expert at. So anything, though, that you know details on the Smith Russ headbutt that we could point to in a game and go, well, this is what happened between these 2, and that's why things kind of fell apart last year?
The irony of the whole thing, Rich, is it occurred after the Steelers won in Cincinnati and put up 44 points, their most in 6 years, and Russell Wilson threw for 414 yards, you know, the 2nd highest total of his career. And that was the culmination of a 7-game stretch in which the Steelers were averaging nearly 29 points a game. We haven't seen that since, you know, even before Big Ben's final season. And so the offense started looking like a unit that was capable of bailing out the defense. The Cincinnati game being a perfect example. The Bengals put up 38 points. Joe Burrow threw for 330 or 340, and Russell Wilson outdueled him and outscored him. So that was an example of where this offense was. And then I think it became an issue where, you know, Russell wanted to attack down the field. You know, he loves to throw that moon ball. And I think Arthur Smith wanted maybe, you know, to develop the run game a little bit more. You know, Russ was audibly getting out of plays a little bit more maybe than Arthur Smith would have liked. I can't point to any one example. I could just tell you whatever was occurring, it was enough that it was becoming frustrating, and it was becoming more of a problem, I think, with Arthur Smith. I don't want to say that it was for Russ, but he wanted to play one way and Arthur Smith wanted to play another.
Jerry Dulac here on the Rich Eisen Show. And just going back to what you said earlier in our conversation when you said that Rodgers might get a monetary offer from the New York teams that are larger because they're New York teams. And you mentioned the Jets. I thought you were going to mention the Jets contract that they had with Rodgers. Instead, you went Fields, called that offer ridiculous. What do you mean by that, Jerry?
Well, I Rich, this whole situation started unraveling. The first stone that was thrown for the Steelers in the Steelers situation was that Justin Fields wanted to test the free agent market. And that's what kind of delayed that whole process where are the Steelers deciding between Fields and Wilson, but knowing, obviously, that Justin Fields wanted to test the free agent market. And I'm sure, they didn't expect him to get that kind of offer. Rich, the guy won 10 games in 3 years in Chicago and played 6 games last year. That is real, not a quality body of work to get a $40 million 2-year deal. And so, but that's what we see in free agency. And that's what we see from teams like the Jets and the Browns who make decisions like that. And so once that happened and he wanted to test the free agent market, then bang, he gets a contract right away from the Jets like that. And then now it all starts. But at that point in time, though, too, Rich, knowing that Justin Fields was going to test the free agent market, the Steelers had already made the decision that they're going to look outside as well. And that started with Sam Darnold and Aaron Rodgers.
Interesting, man. I don't know. I mean, the Steelers are waiting on Rodgers, and plan B would be maybe bringing Russ back. You did have Fields in the building, and I know $20 million a year for somebody in that body of work. I understand your point of view from that, but I don't know. I mean, you could have gone with Fields, and he would have been the young Turk.
That's right. That's right.
And they're in Pittsburgh, and you could have basically said to the Steeler fan base, you know what, we're going to go with the young guy and see what he's got rather than bringing in another veteran. I don't know, because right now they're sitting there waiting for Aaron and hoping Rich, he says yes, right?
I couldn't agree more. That would have been this not only the simplest way, but probably the best plan of attack. And I will tell you that I think Arthur Smith would have preferred, nothing against Aaron Rodgers, I'm not talking about him, but if it came down to Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, I think he and a few other coaches, offensive coaches, would have preferred Justin Fields for a number of reasons. His age, for one, he's 26. We know Aaron Rodgers is going to be 42. You know, his mobility, his speed. They saw that he did win 4 of those 6 starts to begin the season. And so I think they were comfortable going with Russell Fields for the reasons you mentioned, and then seeing, okay, what can we do with this guy? Because they saw the progress that he made from those 3 miserable years. I don't want to say miserable, but those 3 down years in Chicago.
Yeah, no doubt. Because, I mean, if you want to talk about the most un-Steelers-like move,
this is it.
Well,
this is it.
This would be it. Giving a wide receiver $30 million a year with no plan at quarterback. You know, that is you want to talk about un-Steelers like move. So that'll be the last thing I ask you before I let you go on with your Thursday, with your phone no doubt buzzing or ringing off the hook. Is why did they make this DK move? Figuring, I guess, let's get him in, and without a quarterback plan at present, Jerry.
Well, I think the plan was that they would have Darnold or Aaron Rodgers. And you know, Russell Wilson was always in the equation. It wasn't like he wasn't being considered. He was just down their totem pole. But I think they made that deal with that in mind, that they were going to get one of these 2 guys in free agency. And so obviously that hasn't happened. It certainly hasn't happened as of yet, of course. I mean, Rich, I am surprised. $150 million contract over 5 years. It blows my mind to a degree that the Steelers would hand out that kind of deal over 5 years. Now, I grant you, I'm sure it is structured. They're not stupid. They're the best in the league at this. I'm sure it's structured where in the back years, it won't hurt them a whole lot if for any reason they have to get out of it. Who knows? But I think what it does do, Rich, is I think it puts George Pickens on even a shorter list of a shorter leash of remaining with the Steelers. I'm not saying anytime soon, but hey, they wouldn't mind trying to get that number 2 pick back that they lost. in the DK Metcalf trade. And I don't know that George Pickens was going to get a second contract with the Steelers anyway, with all the issues that he seems to bring to the table.
So watch this space between now and the draft, is what you're saying.
Not so much in it with the draft. I could see the Steelers going into the season. Why wouldn't they? Because they're really building up their receiving room. I don't think there's any question. It can become a strength, and right now is much, much improved. They will address a receiver in the draft probably by day 2, certainly by round 4. They have a Roman Wilson coming back, their 3rd-round pick, who missed all of last year. So all of a sudden, if they draft a guy, now their receiving room looks pretty strong, unlike last year. So no, I don't know that it's anything that's going to happen immediately, because now you weaken that room a little bit. I just don't see them going forward with George Pickens with all the antics that they've had to deal with in the 3 years that he's been here.
Jerry, never a shortage of things to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. It's great.
Never is, Rich.
Jerry, thanks for taking the call. And, I have a feeling we're going to be talking again real soon, Jerry. I have that feeling, if you're willing.
Anytime, Rich. I always enjoy chatting with you.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. Same here. That's Jerry Dulac, always giving us the 411 about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, my gosh, is there a lot to review from that conversation? And we'll do that next. I have a top 5 list as well of top 5 under-the-radar acquisitions. Dennis Leary in studio, hour 3. Don't move. So much to discuss, including taking your calls.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? In the best way possible, by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities. And most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
The IRS, the world's most aggressive collection agency. They can seize your property, bank account, and garnish your wages. They cause sleepless nights for millions of Americans. Don't be one of them. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, get protected today. Call 800-242-3186. Coast One Tax Group, protecting your bank, home, and your sleep since 2008. With hundreds of 5-star reviews and an A+ on the Better Business Bureau. Call Coast One Tax Group, 800-242-3186. Stanley from New York owed $93,000. The IRS placed a levy on his bank account. Coast One released the levy and settled with the IRS for $2,000. Mark in Michigan owed $225,000. After Coast One stepped in, Mark walked away paying less than $1,500. Call Coast One now. A 10-minute call can save you up to 93% on your back taxes. Get your fresh start today. That's 800-242-3186.
Sponsored by Coast One Financial Group.
Insight, info, and trends to help you win, all in one place. We are 850 AM Boston, an Odyssey station.
Rich Eisen Show Radio Network. I'm sitting at the Rich Eisen Show desk, furnished by Granger. With supplies and solutions for every industry, Granger has the right product for you. Call clickgranger.com or just stop by. You know, what we just talked about with Jerry Dulac about the Steelers merits further conversation, and we'll do that in a second. But there's news breaking about a Cooper today, and it's not Kupp, although we're expecting to hear from Cooper Kupp in a while.
Eisen?
What happened to Cooper Flag?
Oh, dude, really bad. First half, Georgia Tech ankle
of the ACC
tournament. Stepped on, just getting a random rebound. One other person around, stepped on their foot, rolled it really bad. Wheelchair, X-rays.
Holy crap! What?
Yeah.
The what?
With the tournament starting in a week. This is major news.
Yeah,
Duke was the favorite heading in, along with Auburn, and now
what the hell?
Now unknown.
Let's just hope that he's how old is he? Like 17, 18? So like it'll be a quick healer, or send him to the Chiefs. Right?
Phoenix Suns, like, I don't know.
I was telling Adam in the back, I'm like, at 18, he's going to bounce back a lot quicker than we would. But
I would agree.
An ankle this close.
We got a week to see how much the swelling goes down. At this point, it looked really bad if you look at the replay. Hope no hairline fracture, no ligament damage.
Exactly.
You're just hoping everything's back.
And so the tournament begins. Let's just say maybe they get a Friday game if the tournament people want to help them out.
They might do them a solid. Yeah, give them a solid. Give them a Friday night game.
So that's 8 days from now.
Yeah.
I mean, with all due respect to the ACC tournament, who cares? They're one seed anyway, right? If let's just say they lose today without Cooper Flag, which they shouldn't anyway. Let's say they lose tomorrow.
They should still get that one.
You know what I mean? Like
also
one. That's all. One seed. Too. By the way, do you think the 15 seed would say, yeah, sure, they fall to a 2 seed?
They were down at the half to G-Tech, and then they've outscored them 22-9 to start the second. Okay. So they're up. They're kind of cruising now, but tough break for the second best player ever to come out of Maine.
Let's hope it's a tough spring, right?
I'm glad you just washed over what he just said.
What did he say? Tough break for the future best. Celtic?
No, the second best player to come out of Maine.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Are we talking about this? Please show me the pictures from yesterday, please, Hoskins.
Man.
When you're saying the second best player to come out of Maine.
I'm the first.
You're talking about number 13 in your program.
Well,
number one in your heart.
I wore 24 for basketball.
Back in the day, 24 for basketball.
I wore 24 for basketball.
The side-by-side yesterday of you and Bryce Underwood was my favorite part of yesterday's program. including also beating Bryce Underwood. And there he is.
So you got that going.
That guy's better than Cooper Flagg.
I was 15 in that picture, just to be fair.
Still no hair.
It was a buzz cut.
That guy in the picture, I believe at the time, he was still 17. He's going to be 18 in August. I was a 17-year-old, 6'4" and change, 228-pound individual that was in our chair.
I need to get an updated photo from when we do this comparison.
And I did, in fact, I posted it on my Instagram page.
We're gonna keep
beating him in like a 4-quadrant photograph of beating him in rock paper scissors.
Of course you did.
I sent that to Bryce Underwood last night and said, "Sorry for handing your first loss."
Did he block you?
No, I actually got 8 or 9 crying emojis.
That's really funny, man.
Which
He
I
was
think
great.
from a 17-year-old is the highest praise.
Yeah, right.
Huge win. That kid was awesome.
By the way, him talking about Cam Newton, who is his idol, right?
Yeah.
And he saw him, in a high school event where...
I think Cam was coaching 7-on-7.
7-on-7, right?
Yeah. And they beat the brakes off
him. And so he said that when I said, did you go up to Cam? He said, no, because we basically, just to paraphrase, beat him up so bad that he was in such a bad mood he didn't want to talk.
Yeah, you don't want to go approach him.
Which, as I said before the show, and I'll say it here on this microphone, sounds like a 10-year NBA vet talking about other, 10-year NBA vets who are 10-year, all-stars. He sounds like he's part of that world right now. Obviously, now he's got to go play like it.
But at the same point, too, right? He sounded older than his age, but then he also sounded seriously like a goofy 17-year-old sometimes when he was talking.
Which means he was raised right.
Yeah, that nice blend of he's still a kid, but he's in a grown-ass man's body and has the mindset of a grown man, but yet he'll still, he's 17 and he's
They said they were playing rock, paper, scissors for like a half hour at dinner. That's super fun. I mean, I love that. He was great.
And what did you say, LeBron? That.
And he's like,
It was a delight.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp, yesterday we spent, I think, 5 straight minutes going over and over and over again of where he would wind up fitting. Talking to some people last night, including one in the know, who would be in the know. I don't want to say this individual's name on the air. Mention the name of, no, it's not, sorry, Jerry Jones. Mention the name of a team that we didn't mention.
Oh, interesting.
I
thought we kind of covered it.
We did not mention this team.
Okay, we didn't mention the Jaguars.
We didn't.
That. We didn't say Jags.
And that's the team.
Oh, no way.
Really?
Oh, interesting.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That was the team I was told to look out for because Liam Cohen is the next offensive genius that is being thrown out there. Remember, Steve Young was mentioning his name as an offensive mind that you'd want to be associated with, is what he said.
True.
And the GM just came from the Rams organization, as you know.
Right.
We didn't even think of that. We were told to look out. I was told that was a royal we. My bad. I don't normally do that. To look out for Jacksonville as a spot. But there's a ton of teams in the mix, and we'll see what Cooper's number is going to be. It should be north of 10. It should. I mean, if DeAndre Hopkins is getting 7, right?
He's getting 6.
He should get a little bit more.
I mean, Mike Williams just got 7 for showing back up in Charger land.
He should get more than that.
Don't you think?
Yes.
And multiple years too. Well, he's on a free agency tour. Hey, Aaron, where are you, man? Where is Aaron Rodgers right now?
He's on the beach, baby.
Let me see.
Where is Aaron right now?
He is on the beach,
wrapped in a blanket.
I think we do have again. Put that up. I love this. It's a new show on HBO Max, or it's a Rich Eisen original. The Green and White Lotus. There he is, staring off into space, wondering.
What do you think he's listening to?
The murkiness of the paradise. That's such a White Lotus thing.
He's got the AirPod in. What's he listening to?
I don't know.
Are we going to have to change this to the black and gold lotus or the purple,
black and gold lotus
right now? And white lotus?
No, the purple and white lotus if he goes to the Vikings.
The black and gold for the Steelers.
The blue and white lotus if he goes to the Giants. There's no black and gold lotus. Doesn't have the same ring to it.
True.
I just don't know if, he had to give up his phone or anything like that.
For Cooper Kupp, Rich, Adam Schefter this morning said that Seahawks, Broncos, Patriots, among others, bear watching.
Now, when you say bear,
when you say
mean Bears?
the Patriots, one more time, just to go back again to what we said yesterday, they're going to need somebody to, on offense,
say yes. Put their hand up.
Yes, and I will be the first in with this kid, Drake May.
Agreed.
And I know it will take some time to build, but I'm going there. Somebody's going to have to be that guy. Will it be someone they draft? That will, in addition, to show how offensively this is going to work. I think it will be a smash success because Josh McDaniels back there, dude. I mean, he's the one who made Mac Jones a Pro Bowler, or he was the one calling the plays that in the first season for Mac Jones.
He was.
And I think May is going to have a real nice season if somebody can hit.
Yeah, the wide receiver room as it is right now is not going to work for this year.
I don't think so.
Not going to work. All due respect to those guys.
Let's see. Is it PJ in New Haven, Connecticut? Did I say that correct, PJ?
Yes, sir. My name is PJ.
PJ. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. How are you, PJ?
Okay, listen, I'm 65 years old.
Just like me.
Okay, I'm the oldest Vikings fan ever. The first time I watched football, my first game was the Vikings against the Chiefs. Purple was my favorite color, and I've been a Viking fan ever since. I got 8 kids. They're diehard Viking fans, and we go down with the ship every year.
Okay, so did you say you're 55 and the oldest Viking fan you know? Is it?
No, I'm 65.
65.
Oh,
okay. All right.
Yes.
All right, PJ.
The first football game I ever watched was the Chiefs against the Vikings in the Super Bowl.
Okay, so
purple was my favorite color, and I've been a Viking fan ever since.
Has anyone ever told you sound like Tracy Morgan, PJ?
Yeah.
Was Tony Dorsett your biological father, PJ? I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
My point is that I hated Brett Favre too, right? But when he came to us, we really almost won the Super Bowl. You know, so I'm feeling Rodgers coming to us because to go to the Giants makes no sense.
All right, PJ, thank you for the call. Call back again, please. When the Vikings schedule comes out, I want you to play the win-loss game for the Vikings, please.
PJ.
You know who doesn't want Rodgers on the Vikings is Nick Swartzen.
Oh yeah.
Did you see his post?
Oh no.
No. It's not repeatable.
Okay.
I'm looking it up right now.
On a family show such as this.
Good to know.
It is not repeatable. Don't worry, Infinity Sports Network. We will not read out word for word, but it's not good. I mean, Vikings fans just how to go from Sam's the guy and JJ's
I think you can read that. You can say that word.
Yeah.
I think just the visual is unnecessary.
The visual
is unnecessary to bring to the people.
People don't need the visual.
Fans,
I'm intrigued.
They don't need it.
Just go to Nick's page.
You can remediate.
Yeah, that Nick Swartzen. Check it out.
I mean, we could massage this and say it in the way.
No, don't worry about it. It's not necessary. Everyone could just seek it out. Dennis Leary's in our green room right now, man. I've told him it's entirely possible Rodgers news breaks with him sitting here. He has an opinion on the matter.
And I really hope it does.
Could you imagine Dennis Leary's part of our breaking news in the middle of Celebrity True or False with Dennis Leary?
I pray for that.
When was the last time he was physically here? When he was firing golf balls from our green? From our green?
A long time ago.
Hold on.
That was before I came on the show.
He cracked one of our screens, right? Didn't he do that?
I thought he hit a camera guy, too.
Back when we had camera guys?
It had to be 17, right?
It was 7 years ago.
Jeez. It's been too long, man. I love this guy. But he was part of he did our
December
draft.
4th, 2017.
He did our draft podcast show, right?
Yes.
Before this show existed.
From New York. You were in New York, yeah.
Right. Because I think he was shooting Rescue Me at the time, wasn't he?
I believe that's true. I think you're right about that.
See, I remember all these things.
I have the dump button ready.
No, you don't need to. Don't
It's
worry.
very possible you're wearing
By
the
the way,
same zip-up.
Is that right?
Than you were in 2017.
It's entirely possible because I was just as stylish then as I am now. I'm just more of an influencer now.
This one's a little darker.
If I'm not mistaken, if I remember Nick Swardson's post, I think he used a dump button in certain way of a reference of what he would think of Rodgers being acquired there. At any rate, when we come back, I've got my top 5 under-the-radar acquisitions, and I think I'm going to be accurate on this thing. That's next. More of your phone calls as well. 844-204-RICH is the number to dial. Rich Ackerman joins us now on the Infinity Sports Network with this update.
Infinity Sports Network. Sports Flash.
Well, the ACC tournament tipped off with Duke and Georgia Tech, and right now it's the Blue Devils in front 54-43, but the score is irrelevant after the presumptive #1 pick in the draft, Cooper Flagg, suffered a sprained ankle in the first half. He had to be taken for tests in a wheelchair. He has returned to the bench but won't play further today. His status going forward this weekend is now unknown. The Blue Devils were down by as many in the first half as 14, starting the game 0 for 13 from three-point range, but they opened the second half with a 12-0 run and now lead by 11, 54-43. Elsewhere today, St. John's up on Butler 62-47 in the second half, a win that Indiana needs perhaps to get to the NCAA tournament. The Hoosiers down to Oregon in the second half, 56-54 with 7.5 minutes left. Also early second half, Iowa State leads BYU in the Big 12, 55-49. David Andrews will not be returning to the Patriots after 9 seasons. The 8-time captain was released after shoulder surgery following an injury in Week 4. I'm Rich Ackerman.
This is the Infinity Sports Network. Follow us on Instagram. Our handle is Infinity Sports Network. That's Infinity Sports Network to follow us on Instagram.
We crunch the numbers so you don't have to. This is WEEI 850 AM, Boston, an Odyssey station.
For the ones who get it done, Granger offers high-quality supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and experience to answer your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
All power, zero compromise. Ego cordless outdoor power equipment features advanced lithium battery technology that exceeds the power and performance of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. From blowers and trimmers to mowers and pressure washers, one battery powers over 90 tools. No wonder it is the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Power beyond belief. Visit egopowerplus.com to learn more or to find an Ego retailer near you. That's egopowerplus.com.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Insight, info, and trends. And oh yeah, lots of fun along the way. This is WEEI 850 AM, Boston, an Odyssey station.
Back here on the Rich Eisen Show, the Hyundai Getaway sales event. Get deals so right, it almost kind of feels wrong to you.
Yeah, a little bit.
How's the best time right now? Now is the best time to get that Hyundai car or SUV you've always wanted. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with America's best warranty and 3 years or 36,000 miles of limited complimentary maintenance. Don't think you can get away with all that. You need to think again. Don't wait. the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event is going on right now. So visit your local Hyundai dealer today. It's a great day for a new Hyundai. I got a top 5 list, guys.
Oh.
Hey, you know what? The new league year, we're only one day in. But really, if you include the don't call it tampering window, we're like 4 days in. It's still too early for this list, but I'm going to do it anyway. Top 5 under-the-radar acquisitions presented by Hyundai. Hit it.
At 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Rich's top 5.
All right, here's my 5 players that have been acquired by another team that's under the radar, and I don't think it's getting enough attention paid. I'll be straight up with you about that. And number 5, we start down the street. 1 year, $9.25 million for Najee Harris. He's going to be Jim's battering ram, and we're going to see Najee Harris in this offense. And with, all due respect, is Justin Herbert the best quarterback that he's had since he's come off the campus in Alabama? In this offense, we understand the Steelers are all about running downhill and smash mouthing, and he's had 1,000 yards rushing every year of his 4 years, guys. And he's coming to the Chargers, and I can't wait to see what Najee looks like in this offense and see who the Lightning is. Is it going to be that Kamani Vidal kid from last year? I don't know what they're going to be doing, but I'm curious to see how he's going to look and show us the lightning bolt. Number 4 on this list, I mentioned him yesterday. 2 years for $6.5 million, a bargain. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine from the Titans. And you might be like, what? And I guarantee you, anybody who says what got beat by somebody who had this guy in fantasy because they picked him up on the waiver wire after having 0 targets through the first 4 weeks last season. 0. Not a single target in the first 4 Titans games last year. And he wound up with 9 touchdowns on the season, which was tied for 9th in the NFL and one behind people like Justin Jefferson. He can score, guys. And he's going to be in the Dolphins offense.
That's all he did was catch touchdowns. He had 32 catches and 9 touchdowns.
Unreal.
That's all he does.
What a rate.
And it's not just the 1-yarders either.
No.
No bombs.
Number 3 on the list is the Bears' new big men. All of them, the offensive line. Any of their offensive line and totally remaking the offensive line. And as a matter of fact, in defense, too, we threw in Grady Jarrett, too. Their line changes, to use a hockey term. The only person who's been actually paying enough attention to it is Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I might have put this on this list just so he could replay that sound from his podcast.
Bro, I feel like the Bears have unlimited money. It's crazy. Every time they're just signing new for like $40, $50 million.
Boom.
They have unlimited money. What the is this?
I mean, their cap space is they probably have high cap space.
I mean, hot. Ben's just making moves left and right. I'm like,
no, it's not a truck backing up in your area. It's
7
just
beeps.
Amon-Ra St. Brown with his brother Equanimous on their podcast.
7 beeps.
Holy crap.
He's not happy right now.
He's the only one paying it enough proper attention. And that's number 3 on my top 5 under-the-radar acquisitions list. Number 2 is the duo of 49ers that the Broncos plucked from the San Francisco defense and added to the top 5 defense from last year. I don't think people are paying attention enough. If Dre Greenlaw is healthy and this guy Hufanga can bring the noise from the back end of the defense next to the defensive player of the year in Surtain Jr., the second. Holy crap. People are not paying enough attention. The Broncos got better, guys, and I love these guys. Greenlaw and Hufanga. That is 2 law firms coming at you. Number 1 on the list was not a signing. The Washington Commanders acquired Laramie Tunsil. That is number 1, and we're not talking about this enough. This guy is one of the best pass protectors. Everybody thought, the Pineapple Express on draft night would send him nowhere but the scrap heap of football history, and all he's done is just light people up. I did say that. And
that was crazy, though.
He has been awesome, and the Commanders are like, we'll take him. We'll give 4 draft picks, get 1 back, by the way, a 4th rounder in this year's draft. And nobody's talking about this enough. Laramie Tunsil is the number 1 under the radar, in my estimation, acquisition of the first few days of free agency, if you will. And that's my top 5 under the radar acquisitions presented by Hyundai. The Hyundai Getaway sales event is going on right now. Get deals so right it almost feels wrong. But don't wait. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. I mean, I kind of left off a couple of people, but I watch Westbrook and Keeney is just going to score a ton of touchdowns when everybody's paying attention to Tyreek Hill and Waddle there in Miami. Dennis Leary is coming up in hour number 3 in studio right here on the Rich Eisen Show. At the Hyundai Getaway sales event, get deals so right, it almost feels wrong. Now's the best time to get that Hyundai car or SUV you've always wanted. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with America's best warranty and 3 years or 36,000 miles of limited complimentary maintenance. Don't think you can get away with all that? Think again. But don't wait. The Hyundai Getaway sales event is going on now. So visit your local Hyundai dealer today. It's a great day for a new Hyundai.
Attention, are you or a loved one suffering complications after taking Ozempic or Wegovy? These medications may be linked to serious gastrointestinal illnesses. If you've been hospitalized and diagnosed with gastroparesis, chronic vomiting, deep vein thrombosis, or experienced intestinal blockage requiring surgery, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Call 888-900-LAW-1 today for a free consultation. That's 888-900-LAW1. Paid for by Tort Defenders. Tort Defenders is not a law firm and does not provide legal services.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems. Listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
Do you have a special needs child or an older adult in your home? The risk of them leaving the house unnoticed is real and terrifying, but you can protect your loved ones with Vivint Home Security.
Alarm on.
Our child has autism. He doesn't usually elope, but one day he did, and it was the most terrifying moment of our lives.
If I didn't have a home security system, I would have realized way too late he's gone.
Right now, Vivint is offering a free doorbell camera with any new plan, plus free installation and low monthly monitoring plans. Smart locks, lights, cameras, and more make Vivint Home Security the smartest way to protect your family and prevent a tragedy. Vivint is the #1 smart home service provider in the U.S. Protection is just a phone call away. Call 800-953-6693. That's 800-953-6693. Monthly service agreement required for free installation.
What do you call charging thousands of dollars for hearing aids? At MD Hearing, we call it outrageous, because hearing should not be a privilege for the rich. It's a basic need everyone deserves. Hi, I'm Dr. Sandra Porps, Head of Audiology at MD Hearing. If you or a loved one have trouble hearing but don't want to waste thousands for a hearing aid, MD Hearing was created for you by doctors and audiologists. A high-quality, FDA-registered hearing aid for a fraction of the price. No costly doctor visits, no expensive and time-consuming fittings, no bulky, old-fashioned hearing aids that cost thousands. The MD Hearing Neo is just $297 per pair. It's rechargeable and fits discreetly in your ear. Even better, it lets you hear what you've been missing at a savings of more than 90% off the average price of a traditional hearing aid.
Try MD Hearing risk-free for 45 days by calling 800-918-3920. Plus, you'll get free shipping. Call now, 800-918-3920. That's 800-918-3920.
And just like that, gold prices hit yet another all-time highs. Investors, central banks, billionaires from all around the world are flocking to own physical gold and silver. And guess what? Your chance to get off the sidelines and join this bull market is right now. My name is Jeremy Blossom. I'm with Advantage Gold, the #1 customer-rated gold company in America, and we have a free gold investment guide to help you understand what's going on and more importantly, how to own physical gold and silver. All you need to do is call us at 1-800-900-8000 today, and we'll rush you this guide. It's 1-800-900-8000. Get our free gold investment guide and learn why now is the right time to own physical gold and silver. And if you call now, you could also earn up to $1,000 in free silver. What are you waiting for? Get off the sidelines. Call 1-800-900-8000 today.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult a financial and tax professional.
This is The Bet, WEEI, 850 AM, Boston. Part of the Bet MGM Network. An Odyssey sports station and Boston's home for wagertainment. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is The Rich Eisen Show.
Hey, everybody.
Can't get enough of The Rich Eisen Show? You're in luck. You can find us everywhere. Watch us weekdays on the Roku Sports Channel from noon to 3 Eastern. Miss the show? We've got a podcast so you can listen anytime. But here's the best part. Our YouTube channel. Subscribe at youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show and you'll never miss a moment. Now, on with the show.
We are very excited to be broadcasting to you live
from the Rich Eisen Show studio in Los Angeles.
Rodgers is too weird.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
Hey, Brett Favre, can you pipe down with this? He should play for the Vikings talk. It would be full-on proof that the football gods hate the Jets if Rodgers goes to Minnesota.
The Rich Eisen Show. Earlier on the show, actor Josh Gad, Steelers Radio Network host Jerry Dulac. Still to come, actor Dennis Leary. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
Hour number 3 of the Rich Eisen Show is on the air. Dennis Leary's in our green room, and that will end shortly, and bring him on out here. It's going to be awesome. His show, Going Dutch, the season finale of it, airs tonight on Fox, and then you can catch it tomorrow on Hulu. Right here on the Roku platform. Josh Gad was in studio in hour number 1. I'm not going to hold his book up again. I'm just going to hold up the photograph in his book jacket. I'm jealous, man. I'm jealous. I should have brought this up to him when he was here. I mean, look at is this the blue steel, Josh Gad, that we got going on right here? I mean, take a look. You could see that. You see him right there? It's very impressive. He's just staring at you.
Into your soul.
You know what I mean? Staring through you.
Who wrote the foreword for your book, Rich?
Steve Sable.
Excellent.
Was
he the only one you asked?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he sent it to me within 48 hours. And it was perfect.
That tracks.
As you might imagine.
Yeah.
It was absolutely perfect. So that was great. And I wear that as a badge of honor. Yeah. And that was in 2007. I asked him later on, he would have totally been disappointed by me by then. He would never have done it. But I came out the gate impressively at NFL Network. May he rest in peace, the great Steve Sable. And that's one of my favorite parts about, hosting any event for NFL Network that's big enough to require what's known in television business as the hallmark, which is what when you come on the air, the following is a presentation. Right, and the NFL Network uses Steve Sable's voiceover for it.
I love that.
To this day. And we'll hear it next for the draft, which is coming up in 6 Thursdays. But who's counting?
Wow.
Yeah, that deserves a wow.
Gonna be here fast.
Gonna be here fast. It'll be the night where everybody that drafts either Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders or Jackson Dart or, as you heard, Jerry Dulac said in hour number 2, the Steelers really like Will Howard. As he said, even though the way he looked at the combine, you know what? I appreciate when guys spin it at the combine, but I don't want to hear that, the way he looked at the combine. Then that's the way people don't spin it at the combine. You compete. You're throwing to a bunch of receivers that you've never thrown to. He could have had a bunch of receivers that he knew how to throw to, but virtually every one of his draftable receivers is like, I'm not working out.
Yeah. Teddy Bridgewater famously had a bad pro day, right?
Oh, I think so, right?
With the 2 gloves.
Teddy 2 gloves?
Yeah.
Worked out. But at any rate, everyone's hoping that the quarterback that they draft is the one that drops into their lap from the football gods. God bless Cam Ward if he's drafted second overall, because the last 2 second overall picks were C.J. Stroud 2 years ago and last year Jaden Daniels. So good luck to whoever's drafted second overall. I guess the only other spot that's the most pressure-filled is if you're drafted 199th overall as a quarterback. Good luck, because we already know you're the second best to ever be drafted in that position. Right? Everyone's hoping that they turn into the next generation. And, one way I understand every single time Mahomes does anything against the Bills, everybody brings up the fact that the Chiefs traded up with the Bills. Yep. And, the Bills took a first-round pick from the Chiefs in the next year's draft and used that on Tremaine Edmonds. But they had another draft choice in that draft. And they used that one on Josh Allen. And as Sam Darnold is now on team number 4, being drafted 3rd overall, having the contract mimicking the latest contract for the 1st overall selection in that draft, Baker Mayfield, who's finally found a home in Tampa. And hopefully for Sam, his home in Seattle is as seemingly permanent as Baker's is in Tampa. Josh Allen's the one that just hit it from jump. And he's now on his 2nd monster contract. And believe it or not, the NFL appears to be the world in which you could sign for $330 million overall. And I have imagined he's going to see all of that. And be asked if you gave money back to the team by signing such a contract, by not taking more millions of dollars. And this was Josh Allen's answer to that. He was asked in his press conference, his Zoom, in which he spoke for the first time since hitting it. I think, is this the first time he's spoken since winning the MVP as well, I believe, since his speech? I don't recall him having any other press availabilities. And I was tap dancing to hear back from Mike Hoskins, who knows everything about Buffalo Bills. He said quite possibly this is his first since the MVP. At any rate, he was asked about giving millions of dollars, if not $5 million back, by not signing for more.
It didn't seem like, to my perspective, I was taking a whole lot less. But when the way that I make sense of it, when you start getting these fairly big numbers throughout the entire league, it's weird to say this, but what's 5 more going to do for my life that I can't already do right now, right? So it's not that crazy to me, right? Like I live a pretty good life, got a house, got a car, we're good, but I wasn't looking to absolutely kill them at every chance that I could. And I told my agent that. I was like, hey, if this has any impact on the pack, or impact on the cap, I should say, let's figure out a way to not do that.
Love it. Sounds great. And you know what I thought when I saw that? That's a quarterback who's under the most pressure entering 2025.
Here you go. Here you go.
I figured Dennis Leary coming out's not going to stir things up enough. Bro, seriously.
Cool.
You think that guy's under the most pressure in 2025? Like that's the guy.
Yes.
Who didn't sign for enough, and he's just like, I got a house, I got a car.
I don't understand
we're good.
Anything that he just had to say. Love Josh Allen. This has nothing to do with a division rival or anything. How does that translate to on the field? And what's going to happen between September and February?
I don't even put him. How about this?
Don't say it. Don't say it because you're wrong.
I don't even put him in the top 5.
Exactly. You're
quarterbacks under the most pressure.
Insanely
in
not true.
I don't even put him in the top 5. I don't even put him in the top 5. Let me say that again. Let me stress a different word. I don't even put him in the top 5.
Well, you're wrong.
How about this?
Okay, how about
Let's do it.
We already know. If we're going to do it, we already know who's number 1. So start at 2 and go from there.
Number 1, Dak is in the top 5.
Then why is Josh Allen not in the top 5 if Dak Prescott is?
No one thinks the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl.
Brock Purdy is entirely in the top 5.
Brock Purdy already went to a Super Bowl.
Brock Purdy is entirely in the top 5. He's going to get paid, guys.
Okay, then what is the difference between Purdy and Josh Allen?
Because Purdy might not get another.
But he's already been there.
And he might not be on the 49ers in a couple years.
Again, who cares?
What do you mean, who cares? He cares. That's pretty big, Chris. That would be pretty
So Josh
huge.
Allen doesn't care about winning or beating the Chiefs finally in the playoffs?
Of course he cares. Of course he cares. But he's going to have another run at it the next year, and the year after that, and the year after that.
How do we know that? I bet Dan Marino thought that.
I know he thought that.
Okay. Brock Purdy's on that list. I wasn't planning on doing this. This may take some time.
That's fine. We got time.
I was Aaron Rodgers wherever he shows up, because he's got only a few minutes left potentially in his career. Few minutes when he obviously an entire career, couple seasons left. Russell wherever he shows up. That's another one. He might not have another opportunity. That's pressure.
No one thinks wherever Russell Wilson goes they're Super Bowl contenders. Nobody thinks that. Same thing with Rodgers. These are about guys who've never been there, who have won awards
this is why,
and have got the big money, finally winning and getting to the Super Bowl.
This is our difference.
Lamar Jackson,
This is
Josh
our
Allen,
difference.
Justin
Your
Herbert.
view of pressure is what other people are going to say about them, and my view of pressure is life and opportunity no longer being A, possibly guaranteed, or B, being there at all. That's pressure.
Their careers are over.
Pressure is like, oh
Russ
my God,
and Aaron Rodgers have won Super Bowls.
What if one of these guys turns on the TV the day after their season's over and sees the topic bar all about them and half of our industry yelling about them? That's not the way I view pressure.
That's the world that we live in right now.
I view pressure as, will they get another opportunity? Which is why maybe I take Dak off the list after all.
I mean, you're talking legacy. You're talking having a job.
Well,
That's
I'm
the big
also
difference.
talking legacy when it comes to Rodgers and Wilson, too. So I'm not saying legacy is not at all part of it. I'm just saying you're like, oh, my God, people are just going to say he's one of the worst or he's not this and he's not that, which might have part of legacy because legacy is, in fact, written by those who talk about it. Because those people are eventually going to be the selectors for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, or they're deemed not compromised enough by the Associated Press in their wacky way of deciding who gets to vote for MVPs.
If Josh Allen never makes a Super Bowl, never wins a Super Bowl, his career is a complete flop.
But he still has more time to get that Super Bowl and an organization that is functional enough to create the opportunities for him over and over again. That's why I'm saying it's not as much pressure to do it. I'm talking about time running out on a career or maybe getting something for the first time that, yes, the outside conversation will add to some form of pressure, but they might not get another opportunity to do it.
But they've already been there.
I mean, like, if you've already got a ring, how much pressure are you true? I mean, like, you did it.
Well, if Rodgers wants to keep playing and he wants to be talked about like a certain caliber of quarterback that walks into the Hall of Fame first ballot with multiple rings, then yeah. So I've come up with 3. I need 2 more. Drake May. No, I'm not going to.
I don't know why you're making fun of me,
Justin
man.
Fields. Justin Fields. That's another one. Kid's going to be in New York City, and he's got a 2-year, $20 million deal, and this might be the last time he gets a contract like that. That's a lot of pressure. That's big-time pressure. You know, that's a lot of long-time listeners, first-time callers to tune out.
But that's the same boat that Allen's in.
No, it's not.
I think we all kind of have different definitions. I think Chris and my definition kind of lie a little bit closer. It's when you have the Lamars, the Josh Allens, guys who've won the MVPs and who are taught as generational talents, and they haven't been able to take that next step and win the championship. I feel like when you say life, yeah, no one has pressure. They're all paid. They're all doing well. But as an athlete on the football field, there's some pressure for you to be listed amongst those greats.
Who's a 5th quarterback here? Who do we got?
Well, you want to put Tua on there? Kirk Cousins?
Well, Tua's got more runway left on his career. Cousins might be one. If he gets an opportunity.
Does he?
What?
Does Tua have more runway on his career? If he gets injured again or another concussion, that might be it.
I'm just saying he's got more. If he's not hurt, he's got more runway on his contract. Maybe in a year or two. Him and Trevor Lawrence, that's the sort of thing. That's where, see, now you're coming to see the way I'm seeing it right now.
No, I know.
You're not.
Absolutely not.
But you're seeing it under the mat. You're giving me names through the
well,
prism. I'm
trying to get to Dennis Leary now.
I think he's giving those names to try to.
All right. No, I see what you're saying. Screw it. Let's just say Daniel Jones and be done with it.
No one thinks Daniel Jones is going to do anything.
Okay. So then, but then again, you're using the prism.
By the
same
look,
prism.
Here's the deal. Joe Burrow is under a lot of pressure.
No, he's not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's got 10 more years left of his, and he might show up somewhere else instead of Cincinnati. He might one day pull a Carson Palmer.
Joe Burrow is on the Dan Marino path, and that is not a path you want to be on.
Okay. I couldn't come up with a fifth because,
There isn't one?
Well, there's going to be one. I just didn't want to come up with one, and he's right. Dennis Leary's in our green room, and he hasn't been for 7 years, so let's bring him out. Let's end this. 844-204. I know it sounds unsatisfying, but it's the truth.
Jared Goff is under a lot of pressure next year.
Yeah. That one, I think. That one works for both views.
All right. Just for, what's in giggles, let's bring out Dennis Leary. Jared Goff, you just brought it to an end. And scene. Dennis Leary, Going Dutch, season finale tonight on Fox. Dennis Leary back on the Rich Eisen Show. Don't go anywhere. Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. The only bed that lets you make each side firmer or softer whenever you like. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, save 40% on the new Sleep Number Special Edition Smart Bed. Limited time, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Sleep better together with a Sleep Number Smart Bed. Save 40% on the new Sleep Number Special Edition Smart Bed. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league. It's sharp and it's electric. 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf with 24 of the best players from the PGA Tour. Playoffs are here, Monday, March 17th. 1-seed LA versus 4-seed New York at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2 and ESPN+. Tuesday, March 18th, 2-seed the Bay versus 3-seed Atlanta at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN and ESPN+. Tune in to catch all the TGL playoff action. Keep up, it's golf.
The IRS, the world's most aggressive collection agency. They can seize your property, bank account, and garnish your wages. They cause sleepless nights for millions of Americans. Don't be one of them. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, get protected today. Call 800-242-3186. Coast One Tax Group, protecting your bank, home, and your sleep since 2008. With hundreds of 5-star reviews and an A+ on the Better Business Bureau. Call Coast One Tax Group, 800-242-3186. Stanley from New York owed $93,000. The IRS placed a levy on his bank account. Coast One released the levy and settled with the IRS for $2,000. Mark in Michigan owed $225,000. After Coast One stepped in, Mark walked away paying less than $1,500. Call Coast One now. A 10-minute call can save you up to 93% on your back taxes. Get your fresh start today. That's 800-242-3186.
Sponsored by Coast One Financial Group.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There is a tremendous price war in the term life industry. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man aged 45, non-smoker, can get $1 million of coverage for $75 per month, level rate for 10 years. Or a man aged 50, non-smoker, can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of $110, level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-smoker rate class. Exam required to qualify.
Insight, info, and trends to help you win, all in one place. We are 8:50 a.m. Boston, an Odyssey station.
Do we know
yes,
Joel?
That's right. So Joel is a brilliant writer.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Yeah, and he's on set.
Yeah.
And he wants to shoot the pages, which are really funny. But then he also wants to play around immediately after we get the pages. So you have to be able to improvise. So this, I'm telling you, Taylor, all of them are great, but Taylor and I have it's just, I love working with her because the relationship is so fraught. It's the worst dad ever,
right?
As opposed to the best dad ever.
Thank you.
And so she's just constantly like throwing stuff at me. And you saw me stumble a couple of times in that conversation. She's throwing stuff out at me, you know?
And it was great. I mean, it's such a fun show. Again, the season finale is tonight on Fox. You can watch it the next day on Hulu, right here on Roku.
Binge it on Hulu.
Today. Well, just not right now. I'm not in the middle
not
of
now.
This. Right, exactly. Not now, but just
not
make a
while
note.
I'm here for the first time in 7 years.
That is correct. You have to make a mental note of doing that. And you were telling me backstage, I had no idea. You shoot this in Ireland? You shoot a significant of it in Ireland?
It's set in the Netherlands.
Right.
It's based on a real army base that was closed down because in the Netherlands, prostitution is legal and so are drugs. And this base, it was a real base. It has no weapons, no tanks, no fighter jets. It did the laundry and delivered the wine and cheese for the other 32 NATO bases, right? But because it was in the Netherlands and there was prostitution and drugs, they inevitably made their way into there was a black market situation on the base.
Damn.
So that's the premise of the show is my daughter is in charge of this base and I get sent there because they want me to retire.
Yes.
Because I'm like General Patton. I'm a battle guy. And I insulted the Joint Chiefs of Staff in a big meeting. And they forced me to go to this base. So it drives me crazy because it's just all laundry and wine and cheese and drugs and there's no weapons. There's not a gun on the base.
And you're going Dutch because you're going to the Netherlands, but you're splitting the power with your daughter.
He's so smart. See, he's not just the best dad ever.
No.
He's the smartest dad ever.
You know what? I get it is what I'm saying. I get it and I get you, Dennis Leary.
How are you, man?
I'm great. It's been too long.
I love this show. I don't know why it took me so long to come back.
I appreciate you saying that. We love having you on it.
Remember when the last time I was here, I think I took over and hosted.
You did, in fact, do that. You also, I do believe, this was back in the day when we used to preview who is coming up next by having you appear on camera on our green.
Yes.
And you started firing golf balls, Texas wedge style, with the putter.
I tried to hit you.
Yeah, and balls were like flying, like serious.
I know, but I couldn't hit you because I suck at golf. I literally. And by the way,
I was only armed with that knowledge.
I know my short game was it was actually the best part of my game. I threw the clubs away. Is that
right?
Finally, yeah. Okay. I used to have my own charity golf tournament for my Leary Firefighters Foundation. And that only worked because they wanted me to drive around hole to hole to play with everybody, right?
Yeah.
But that is I played hockey. I still play hockey. I boxed. I played baseball. The hardest thing I've ever done in sports is try to play golf.
Yeah.
The ball not moving was a problem for me from forget the Zen thing. Are you crazy?
Yeah, right.
I'm not built for it. I'm cursing, screaming in between shots.
Yeah, you kind of need more of an even keel, patient manner when you're playing golf.
It didn't work for me. The last time I played, my son's a great golfer, and he said, "Come on, Dad, come out, try it one." It's been a while, so I went out, and the first shot I hit, there was a Marshall shed over here.
Yeah,
and shooting this way. And I hit a line drive into the
Marshall.
And I started laughing, and my son got pissed at me. He's like, "What are you laughing about?" I was like, "There's no point. Why am I doing this?" And then I played the second hole, and then I just drove around with him because it's it.
That's as much fun as you can have.
It's over. Never playing again.
What did you think of the Four Nations stuff?
Loved it.
Were you locked in?
Yeah, totally locked in. It's great. I mean, I'm pissed that we lost Charlie McAvoy. I'm a Bruins fan.
Yes, right.
Like Kachuk getting hurt. I mean, but they
put it on the line.
I know, but it's so intense. There's nothing like that, Olympics or international competition like that to get. I mean, it's the best. It's not the same in basketball. When we go out and play in the Olympics, basically.
Well, the final, the Thursday night final in Boston.
Yeah.
In TD Garden, where they brought out, they brought out Eruzione beforehand and Gretzky, and it was apparently the toughest ticket in the history of TD Garden.
No, it was. It was tough. It was going to be tough anyways, but once the heat built up.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Eruzione, baby. Mike Eruzione.
And it was 2 days before the Miracle on Ice 45th anniversary. Yeah. It was great. I
used to skate against Mike in East Boston. That's where he's from. Yeah.
What do you mean you used to skate against
I skated against him in the men's league when I didn't play against him in high school, but I played in a men's league, and we played. I can't remember the name of his team.
Pre-Olympics for him, or
no. This is like when we were adults.
So Eruzione's out there, Mr. Gold Medal himself.
Oh yeah. No, he's a rink rat. I don't know if he is anymore. I was in Boston. I think I was making a movie or something in Boston, and we went out and skated. My whole family's up there, and I used to play up there in men's league. So my men's league team was still playing there. Do you want to come out? I was like, yeah, I'll come out and play. Yeah.
And Eruzione's on the right.
Yeah, he's a rink rat. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I know.
How many shifts can you give me right now, Dennis Leary? How many shifts?
I play like 3 times a week during the winter, especially.
What's your, what are you? You're a defenseman. You're a defenseman.
I went from being a rushing, scoring. My speed was the only thing I had in my favor in hockey, right? My speed and my anger. It's a great sport for rage. And my speed is now gone. And one of the leagues I play in is all ages, right? And a lot of the daughters and the sons of the guys play, but these are like really like we have girls who play in the professional hockey league, right? So I'm a stay-at-home defenseman, and I tell kids in advance, if you're going around me, I am gonna clutch, grab, and trip you because they're so fast now. They're unbelievably fast. I do a lot of tripping, a lot of cross-checking, a lot of clutch and grab. I mean, I can't cover them anymore.
So is there anybody reffing this thing? Anybody?
No.
So,
I mean,
there's no. So why not do it if there's no penalty?
Oh, exactly. Then I play in a league that's my guy. I think the beginning age is like 45, and up through I'm 68 this year, up into the 70s, and that league's. I'm still fast in that league. So I think I'm moving into the 70 and up league soon, just because then I'll be really fast.
Attaboy.
Yeah, but you got to keep playing.
Dennis Leary here on the Richard. Listen, man, that the Four Nations again. That was one of ESPN's greatest broadcasts in terms of numbers. In the history of them putting hockey on there, or almost any sport that they put on there.
It was great hockey.
It was great.
Those 3 fights at the beginning of that game.
Well, that one is what set my phone off.
Yeah,
like I wasn't watching the beginning of it, and my phone starts buzzing like crazy. 3 dropping of gloves in 9 seconds.
That game, I had everything set up.
Yeah.
I have my own room, my own television. I told my wife, I'm watching this game. I don't want any interruptions.
Yeah.
But I was getting my snack ready. I was still in the kitchen, the other room, and I could hear it. I was getting my snack ready because I figured, the puck drop and then I'll.
Yeah.
And I hear the fight start, so I go in and I'm like, and then I go to get my no fight, and I was like, I'm not getting the snack now. That was awesome. And by the way, I have to say, even though they play their rivals of the Bruins, the Tkachuk brothers, man, their father, who's from Massachusetts, was a great player and deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and that's a campaign that needs to be spoken about more publicly. So, Keith Tkachuk needs to be in the Hall of Fame. He was a great player. But those 2 kids are amazing hockey players.
They are.
Yeah, amazing hockey players.
And they're great representatives of the USA across their chest too, man.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Dennis Leary here on the Rich Eisen Show again. The season finale of Going Dutch airs tonight on Fox, the next day on Hulu. We haven't done this in a while with you. Celebrity, true or false, parts of your career that we've heard about that I want to know if it's true or not.
Okay.
Dennis Leary, hit it.
Celebrity, true,
a lot of pressure.
It
should be the thing shouldn't. It shouldn't be just true or false. It should be, does he remember?
That's true.
I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
We're going to test it. We're going to test it right here.
Did you do this with Kevin Costner?
We did.
I can't remember. I watched it. Okay,
we
you
have
did.
done
Okay.
this with
Did
Kevin.
you do it with Larry David?
No. What we do with Larry is we give him social situations.
Yes, of course.
Ask him what's right to do or not.
Yeah.
That's what we do with Larry.
He's the man to ask for that.
Stuff like destination weddings and things like that.
Oh,
do you bring a gift if you go to a destination wedding?
Don't start. My son just got engaged. We just had the destination wedding conversation in my house like less than a week ago. So.
So I touched a third rail here. I don't mean to do it. Yes,
there's a third rail. There is a third rail. How old are your kids now?
16, 14, and 11.
All right, so you're not there yet.
Well, where's the destination?
This is the thing that drives me nuts. Okay, this is the thing that drives me nuts. Right. So I'm just going to give you an example.
Sure.
Last summer, my I think it was last summer, one of my nieces got married, and she decided to do a destination wedding in Vermont. I live in New York, which is drivable. Yeah, right. It's her mom is from Boston, the Boston area. So it's like a lot of the people in both families are going to be able to drive. Right. Some people are going to have to fly in. It was great. It was 4 days. I'm just going to stop here and just say, even though I love my niece and I was glad to go, and it was beautiful. It was fantastic. There's 4 days. So you get there on Thursday. There's a dinner on the thing on Thursday. And Friday, there's some activities. And there's another dinner on Friday and the thing. And then Saturday, there's a thing. And then the wedding is Sunday.
Yes.
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful wedding. But here's the other one, right? Which is my daughter's getting married in, they're doing it in the Caribbean. It's like, so wait a minute. You want people, because you're paying for your own hotel rooms and your flights, right? You're so important. Your love is so big that you're good, right? Because I've done those. I've done those with nieces and nephews, and then they're divorced 2 years later with a kid. With a kid. And then do you mind watching the kid? The kid from the Caribbean wedding thing that didn't work out? That I spent all the money for? Why am I spending money? So that's my thing. I said to my son and his girlfriend, and they haven't exactly decided, but I think we've convinced them they live in Brooklyn, to do it in New York, in the city that's beautiful, blah, 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 bing, right?
Right.
And they were just at a destination wedding someplace like Aruba or something, like a couple weeks ago, right? And that was a pain in the ass. They had to fly, pay, right? So I'm like, do it in Brooklyn, do it in Manhattan, right? That's a destination for some people too, by the way. People from California and
so we're to be determined. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we're still. I think we're going to be Brooklyn. So I just don't. How?
So I'm with you, just so you're aware.
Yeah, don't charge people.
What I'm saying is
4 days.
So I
5.
The argument that I've said with my wife and that I brought up to Larry is that you should not be required to give a present if you go to a destination wedding.
The present is you are paying.
My presence is my present.
No present.
And Larry basically said that if you're invited to a destination wedding, you don't even go. And I said to him, what is the...
Larry's present to them is him not showing up.
I said, what is the distance from your house that you'd consider...
For a wedding.
For a wedding, he said an hour and a half by car.
That's more. That's more than I would.
Interesting.
I would have guessed he would have said 20 minutes.
He said an hour and a half by car, and he basically said when you get your
each way.
No, just to go. I guess an hour and a half by car each way. And he basically, I didn't ask him if that was a round trip. I should do that the next time. And he basically said that when you get an invitation, you should just write in the RSVP. Too far. So, but that snort from Dennis Leary.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. So, celebrity true or false?
Yes.
Here we go. Dennis Leary.
Yes.
True or false? You refuse to wear a glove with Mickey Mantle's signature on it for the movie The Sandlot.
True.
So you're.
And by the way, it was my first movie.
Yes, what I was saying.
Yeah.
So you had this is your first movie,
and I loved the script. I mean, I'm no genius, and I was brand new to the movie business, but I was like, I love sports movies and I love baseball movies. I was like, I really think this is one of those ones. If they do it right, this could be like a thing that kids will watch forever. And so I was totally in. And
you were right, by the way. We show it to my kids.
Yeah. But I was like, dude, I got to tell you, I cannot. My character and me are both telling you, I cannot. And I love Mickey Mantle. Right? You want to talk Yankees? I mean, and baseball greats, but I'm not wearing a Mickey Mantle.
So is it true they had to get you a Red Sox one?
Yeah.
In order for you to use it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And they didn't think you were a diva?
I have been involved in other movies where they've said, like, I read it in the script and he walks in wearing a Yankee cap. I go, I'm not wearing a Yankee cap. And now they know. They just don't worry about that Yankee cap thing. We're going to take that out. I'm like, well, good, because no. It's like. Oh my God! It's like, I'm not even a lapsed Catholic. I'm so out of that church. It's like when I go to when there's a funeral or a wedding, in my family that takes place in a Catholic church, the priest will always make some kind of nice to have you here, because they don't. You can feel like the candles melting extra fast when I walk in. You know what I mean? So a Yankee cap on my head is Satan-esque to me.
So there was no that you weren't afraid it would filter back to James Earl Jones that you were a diva about your glove or anything like that?
I didn't care. I don't care. The Red Sox blood, the Bruins blood, they run deep.
Did you meet James Earl Jones on the set?
Yeah.
Did you have a good story about that at all, or no?
Well, he was, I'm such a, historically such a fan of him as an actor.
Sure.
That when I was a kid, I remember seeing The Great White Hope. I don't know if you ever saw that movie. I'm like, and he was an amazing theatrical actor as well. So I'd seen him as a young acting student. I saw him on Broadway. I can't remember the play now, but forget the movie work and The Field of Dreams, which was, that was one of those movies that I literally was crying in the theater with Jeff Garlin from Curb Your Enthusiasm. I saw that with Jeff.
No kidding.
We were unknown guys at the time, obviously, and we're two huge baseball fans. We both went to that movie, literally crying, grown men crying in the movie theater. So I was. Of course, I wanted to ask him a million questions about acting.
Sure.
And about The Great White Hope and stuff. But, we're on set. He had a million lines. I have, so it was just to be in his presence was amazing.
That's pretty cool, man. I love it.
But to be in a movie with him?
And by the way, you're not wrong. That The Sandlot lives forever.
Yes.
It does.
Great movie.
True or false, Dennis Leary, you were invited to be in REM's Shiny Happy People music video after they saw you rant about them in an MTV sketch.
No.
That is false.
False. I'll tell you what is true is I did a rant about, I did an MTV spot about Shiny Happy People.
Okay.
And some other stuff I hated. And I, there was real anger and rage. And then I was in a restaurant in Los Angeles with Sean Penn, who's an old friend of mine. And and it was kind of empty. We were having an early dinner, and it was an outdoor patio, so you could smoke. So we're just sitting there, two angry Irish guys smoking, and Penn, my back was to the door, and Penn goes, hey, Michael Stipe's on his way over here. I go, what? He goes, Michael Stipe's walking over, and I was like, what? And I turn, Michael Stipe. So I don't know, right?
Yeah.
But when you piss people off, and he walked up and he hands me a little matchbook, and then walks away. Doesn't say anything. And I open the book cover. It's the old matches.
Yeah, of course.
And it says, I hate shiny, happy people too. And I'm like, and so we look over and he's at a table and he's smiling. So Sean and I go, and we went over and we sat with him, and he was the greatest guy. He had a great sense of humor about himself. We knew mutual people, musicians. So it was really, and then I did a Fashion Rocks charity event for the King of England now, but at the time he was the Prince's Trust. Mm-hmm. I hosted it it was like 17 fashion designers and 17 rock stars. Yeah. And Michael was singing with somebody, I can't remember who, Bryan Adams or something, at that gig. And he was still great. He was, he was a really nice guy about it.
I imagine he didn't perform Shiny Happy People because he hates it.
Yeah.
That is great. I got a couple more.
They had some great songs, but Shiny Happy People was not one of them.
Clearly, that has been stipulated by you. True or false, you were offered Mark Wahlberg's role in The Departed, but had to turn it down because of scheduling conflicts with Rescue Me.
Yes. Now, let me be clear about this one.
Okay.
I can't. I think I was offered Alec Baldwin's role first. Okay. Right? I know Scorsese. I knew him then. Rescue Me was such a monster because I was also writing that show.
Sure.
And it took us.
You were in almost every scene too.
Yeah. So it was like it would take us, 4 or 5 months to shoot the show, and then it took us a couple of months in advance to start writing it, and then we would write as we went. So it was a monster schedule. So I would have like maybe 2 months off total, and sometimes only a month off, at the end of the season. And Scorsese's producer called me and said, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God. And I said, I think I had like 3.5 weeks. And they said, we can do it. We'll stick you in. And I said, but you're going to be shooting while I'm shooting the beginning of the next season of Rescue Me. And they said, we'll shoot you on the weekends. You could shoot Rescue Me Monday through Friday. I'm like, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't do the Mark Wahlberg role. Then they thought about the Baldwin role. And then I realized, like, I don't want to do this because it's not going to be fair to him. And it's not going to be fair to Rescue Me, right? Mm-hmm. More importantly, my one time I'm going to, first work with Scorsese, I thought there'd be more, right?
Sure.
Like, I don't want it to be like I'm tired and exhausted and just flew up from New York.
Yeah.
So I turned him down, and thinking I was gonna, be in one of his movies. What a moron! Here I am.
What a moron!
What a moron!
Oh my gosh!
I know.
So that is true.
So I'm still hopeful, awesome. Marty.
You never know.
Yeah.
Hey man, there's still
old Irish gangster. Right?
True or false, Dennis Leary? Last
By the way,
one.
I can't wait to see Alto Nights where De Niro plays two gangsters.
No doubt. De Niro, man.
De Niro,
great.
the greatest.
Last one for you, Dennis Leary. True or false? You got acting tips from Bill Belichick for your role as Coach Penn in Draft Day.
I did. He's probably. I kept it quiet for a long time because I promised him I would. I loved the script. I think I told you, might have said this to you before, but
right.
Somebody called me. My agent called me and he said, "Hey, Kevin Costner's doing a football movie with Ivan Reitman." And he's about to say something. And I went, I'm in. He goes, well, no, let me. I said, no, I'm in. He's like, don't you want to know who you're playing? I said, I don't care who I'm playing. A sports movie with Kevin Costner. I could not be a bigger Costner fan.
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, all of those movies, and also there's westerns. And the greatest Western he ever did, which doesn't get enough credit, Open Range. You ever see that movie?
No, I have not.
Open Range is the best Western he ever did.
Okay.
It's with him and Robert Duvall. He directed it and wrote it.
Okay.
Amazing movie. Has the greatest shootout in the history of Westerns. Anyways, I told Kevin that. Anyways, so I got the script. I talked to the writers. I talked to Kevin briefly. And then I said to Bill, like, would you can I send you this and you look through it and tell me what's real, what's not real, blah, blah, blah.
You sent him the draft day script.
I sent him the script. He read it. And we got on the phone and went through it. And he gave me some great pointers about this, that, the
Anything that you can remember.
One of the things that you, if you saw the movie,
yes,
you know, they put the thing where they have the player look at the playbook. They can tell he looked at the playbook by putting a $20 bill in it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So Belichick said, "That's mine." You know, I invented that, and I was like, so I told the writers, I said, "Blah, blah, blah," and they went, "Oh, we didn't know that. We just heard it from this guy that used to work for the Jets." I'm like, "Well, yeah, right?" Because you know, Belichick's just. I mean, he is a genius. Yeah, he's a psychological genius when it comes to everything.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So he's reading the script and he goes, "That's my movie."
Yeah, that was mine. So he was really helpful, and I had a blast making that movie, man. Costner is such a pro, such an amazing guy, but also as such a generous. His concern every day was that everybody else was really good, because he knows as a team player, like in order for the thing to work, we all have to be good, right? And God, he was good.
Every time the draft comes up, I hear about it. You know, I'm in it as well, just as a brief bit.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, we were shooting in New York City at Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah.
And, you know, Frank Langella played the owner.
And he was great.
And he came up like Frank Langella. I mean, my God, he's so. I'm sitting there in between nights 1 and 2 of the draft, and I figured I'll have the script right here in front of me. I didn't look at it, or I didn't care. Like, I'm going to do it for sure. And he comes walking up to me in Radio City Music Hall, Frank Langella. One of the
greatest actors of all time.
Agreed. And he looks at me, he goes, "Would you like to run lines?" And I'm like, oh my God. I haven't looked at the script yet. And I'm like, "Just give me a minute, Mr. Langella." Went up there and he sat down and I looked at my script. I hope he didn't mind me just looking at my script. And we went over. I have run lines with Frank Langella.
Dude, I got to tell you something. Frank Langella, first of all, he's been a great actor for so long in the theater. He did Frost Nixon, the play Frost Nixon, but I saw it on the stage.
Right.
It's one of those things where you go like, why am I acting? Why do I think I can do this job after you see a performance? He played Nixon. It's so insane. And on draft day, I peppered him. I just peppered him. He's one of those guys that will tell you the stories. Like, I was like, "Listen, I know you performed and then for the Kennedys, and then were invited to Hyannisport." So he told me that story about being with JFK and Jackie and blah. And then I asked him about, and he'll tell you all the stories.
He's spilling the tea, man.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
Dude, it's been great having you here. You're the best.
I'm done?
Dude. Yeah, I mean, unless you want to stick around for one more segment.
Yeah, I'll stick around for one more segment.
Dennis Leary's going to stick around.
Oh
Let's
my
take
God,
a break. Why not?
How can you get rid of me now?
We're not going to. Rich Ackerman's going to join us for the news update, and we'll finish the show with Dennis in a sec.
Infinity Sports Network. Sports Flash.
And unfortunately, we start with sad news, Rich. Our former colleague, John Feinstein, best-selling author of over 40 books, has died. He was just 68. He rose to fame in the 1980s when he took a break from the Washington Post to write the book A Season on the Brink, about a year, with Bob Knight and the Indiana Hoosiers. Among his great works as well is the book A Good Walk Spoiled, about golf. Duke, his beloved alma mater, advanced to the semifinals of the ACC tournament with a win today over Georgia Tech, but might have a major hole to fill as Cooper Flagg suffered an ankle injury in the first half. His status for the next 2 days is uncertain, as well as the NCAA tournament right now. Still a little too early to tell on his outlook. Earlier today, in the Big East, St. John's rolled over Butler 78-57. Perhaps the final game for Mike Woodson in Indiana ends with a 72-59 loss to Oregon at the Big Ten tournament. At the Big 12, BYU upends Iowa State 96-92. And getting underway are North Carolina and Wake Forest in the ACC. I'm Rich Ackerman.
This is the Infinity Sports Network. Follow us on X. Our handle is INF Sports Network. That's INF Sports Network on X.
We crunch the numbers so you don't have to. This is WEEI, 850 AM, Boston, an Odyssey station.
At the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event, get deals so right, it almost feels wrong. Now's the best time to get that Hyundai car or SUV you've always wanted. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with America's best warranty and 3 years or 36,000 miles of limited complimentary maintenance. Don't think you can get away with all that? Think again. But don't wait. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event is going on now. So visit your local Hyundai dealer today. It's a great day for a new Hyundai.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
The IRS, the world's most aggressive collection agency. They can seize your property, bank account, and garnish your wages. They cause sleepless nights for millions of Americans. Don't be one of them. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, get protected today. Call 800-242-3186. Coast One Tax Group, protecting your bank, home, and your sleep since 2008. With hundreds of 5-star reviews and an A+ on the Better Business Bureau. Call Coast One Tax Group, 800-242-3186. Stanley from New York owed $93,000. The IRS placed a levy on his bank account. Coast One released the levy and settled with the IRS for $2,000. Mark in Michigan owed $225,000. After Coast One stepped in, Mark walked away paying less than $1,500. Call Coast One now. A 10-minute call can save you up to 93% on your back taxes. Get your fresh start today. That's 800-242-3186.
Sponsored by Coast One Financial Group.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There is a tremendous price war in the term life industry. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man aged 45, non-smoker, can get $1 million of coverage for $75 per month, level rate for 10 years. Or a man aged 50, non-smoker, can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of $110, level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-smoker rate class. Exam required to qualify.
Inside insight, info, and trends. And oh yeah, lots of fun along the way. This is WEEI 850 AM, Boston, an Odyssey station.
Show Radio Network. I'm sitting at the Rich Eisen Show desk furnished by Granger with supplies and solutions for every industry. Granger has the right product for you. Call clickgranger.com or just stop by. Dennis Leary had to go, actually. As soon as he said, sure, I'll stay. He was told he had an appearance on Jennifer Hudson's program. Except we won't make him dance down the hallway.
It's nice that Dennis, he's been here 7 years. It's nice that he's calmed down. Oh,
that's right. Same guy, man. Right as rain. Same friggin' guy.
The best.
Truly. I really enjoy his company, and everybody should watch Going Dutch season finale tonight on Fox, or you watch it tomorrow when it shows up on Hulu.
Hulu.
You can watch it right here on the Roku portal. The Hyundai Getaway Sales event's going on right now. It's the best time to get that Hyundai car or SUV you've always wanted. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with America's best warranty, 3 years or 36,000 miles of limited complimentary maintenance. Don't wait. The Hyundai Getaway Sales event is going on right now, so visit your local Hyundai dealer today. It's a great day for a new Hyundai. Can't believe we started the show and we're ending it. Aaron Rodgers hasn't made any news. Cooper Kupp hasn't made any news.
Nothing.
Cooper Flag, is he back alley-ooping now?
Cooper
or what?
Flag, X-rays negative.
Thank God.
So John Shire said just going to see how he feels in the next week.
Okay, sounds good. And they did, in fact, win, correct?
They did.
Okay,
they're moving on.
All right.
Yes, indeed.
And another show that you can watch right here on the Roku portal is The Green and White Lotus. There he is. He's shooting it right now in Southern California. Beautiful destination. Back to wrap this show up on the Roku channel. For the ones who get it done, Granger offers high-quality supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and experience to answer your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call clickgranger.com or just stop by.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. For you as well. At Termbusters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-smoker rate class. Exam required to qualify.
And just like that, gold prices hit yet another all-time highs. Investors, central banks, billionaires from all around the world are flocking to own physical gold and silver. And guess what? Your chance to get off the sidelines and join this bull market is right now. My name is Jeremy Blossom. I'm with Advantage Gold, the #1 customer-rated gold company in America. And we have a free gold investment guide to help you understand what's going on and, more importantly, how to own physical gold and silver. All you need to do is call us at 1-800-900-8000 today, and we'll rush you this guide. It's 1-800-900-8000. Get our free gold investment guide and learn why now is the right time to own physical gold and silver. And if you call now, you could also earn up to $1,000 in free silver. What are you waiting for? Get off the sidelines. Call 1-800-900-8000 today.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
Do you have a special needs child or an older adult in your home? The risk of them leaving the house unnoticed is real and terrifying, but you can protect your loved ones with Vivint Home Security.
Alarm on.
Our child has autism. He doesn't usually elope, but one day he did, and it was the most terrifying moment of our lives.
If I didn't have a home security system, I would have realized way too late he's gone.
Right now, Vivint is offering a free doorbell camera with any new plan, plus free installation and low monthly monitoring plans. Smart locks, lights, cameras, and more make Vivint Home Security the smartest way to protect your family and prevent a tragedy. Vivint is the #1 smart home service provider in the U.S. Protection is just a phone call away. Call 800-953-6693. That's 800-953-6693. Monthly service agreement required for free installation.
The IRS, the world's most aggressive collection agency. They can seize your property, bank account, and garnish your wages. They cause sleepless nights for millions of Americans. Don't be one of them. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, get protected today. Call 800-242-3186. Coast One Tax Group, protecting your bank, home, and your sleep since 2008. With hundreds of 5-star reviews and an A+ on the Better Business Bureau. Call Coast One Tax Group, 800-242-3186. Stanley from New York owed $93,000. The IRS placed a levy on his bank account. Coast One released the levy and settled with the IRS for $2,000. Mark in Michigan owed $225,000. After Coast One stepped in, Mark walked away paying less than $1,500. Call Coast One now. A 10-minute call can save you up to 93% on your back taxes. Get your fresh start today. That's 800-242-3186.
Sponsored by Coast One Financial Group.
This is The Bet, WEEI, 850 AM, Boston. Part of the Bet MGM Network. An Odyssey sports station and Boston's home for wagertainment. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's time to laugh, to win, and to live the thrill of the action.
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs. What the hell's going on out here?
No idea what's going on, but I am excited. Every pick, every play, every game-changing moment. This is You Better You Bet, brought to you by BetMGM, the sports book born in Vegas on the BetMGM network.
It's a great day to be alive, and it's a great day to be a better. Welcome to another edition of You Better You Bet here on the BetMGM network. I'm Femi Abebefe, hanging out with you guys over the next 4 hours on what will be a very, very glorious day here on You Better You Bet. You can check us out across a multitude of platforms. Make sure you watch us live 24/7 on the BetMGM network and directly on the free Odyssey app. Also check us out on Twitch at BetMGM Network and on YouTube at the BetMGM Network. You can also watch us on YouTube TV, Roku, Fubo TV, Samsung TV Plus, and more. And make sure, in addition to all the college hoops that's going on Peacock, make sure you check out You Better You Bet on the NBC Sports Now channel, available on Peacock from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's an NBC Sports Now Power Hour each and every weekday here on YBYB. And as always, make sure to listen to us live on Sirius Channel 160 and Sirius XM 205. And while you're at it, hit us up on social media. You can find me at Femi Abebefe over on Twitter. You can find the show on Twitter at You Better You Bet. You can find the entire network on Twitter at BetMGM Network. Whole crew's hanging out with us. We are back. The boys are back together, baby. We are all back. Tyler Morales, Jay Kassan back from vacation. Bill Zimmerman, Mike Brown, Sean Hahn, Nick Costos, the Prop King. He joins us in 1 hour as we'll be live sweating what is a glorious day in college hoops. Honestly, I was thinking about this right before the show. Like today, Thursday of conference tournament week, might be one of the more underrated days on the sports calendar because it gets lost in the shuffle of next Thursday, which of course is amazing with the 16 games on Thursday, 16 games on Friday for the first round of the NCAA tournament. But this day today, like I woke up and I'm just handicapping college basketball from the minute I woke up after, riding the Peloton. But I rode the Peloton, handicapped college basketball, and I've been sitting here in this chair the entire time watching basketball since noon Eastern, and it has been amazing. All these bets that we have all across these games, which we'll give out all throughout today's show. But if you miss anything in podcast form, make sure you check us out at You Better You Bet. Just search that wherever you get your podcast. And while you're there, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review. We have 3 awesome guests joining us on the program. Starting at 5 o'clock Eastern, national college basketball writer for CBS Sports and for 24/7 Sports, the great Isaac Trotter rejoins us here on You Better You Bet. He is plugged in on all things college basketball, and we'll give out his bets for today's slate as we all celebrate March Madness. Then at 5:20 Eastern Time, we'll turn our attention to the professional ranks. NBA writer for the Action Network, Matt Moore, returns to You Better You Bet, host of the Buckets podcast. We'll chat with Matt about all things association, including OKC's win last night against the Boston Celtics. And then during the NBC Sports Now Power Hour, it's our NBC and Peacock teammate, Jay Croucher, who joins us at 6:20 Eastern Time, host of the Bet the Edge podcast, as well as the Fantasy Football Happy Hour with Matthew Berry and Connor Rodgers. We'll get Jay's thoughts on the final month of the NBA regular season, because 1 month from today will be the last day of the NBA regular season. So it'll be great to catch up with Jay to talk all things National Basketball Association. But we also want to hear from you guys as well. With all that's going on in the NBA, all that's going on in college hoops, especially in college basketball, we also want to get a little NFL mixed into the show from you guys. So our social question today, really simple, and we want to know from you, because Nick and I yesterday, we were unloading the clip because it had been our first show in quite some time doing this together, especially since all the free agent signings were made. But we want to know from you guys, what's your strongest NFL betting take after the first wave of free agency and why? Let us know by tweeting us at YouBetterYouBet over on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, put it into the YouTube chat or in the Twitch chat, but let us know your favorite or your strongest NFL betting take after this first wave of free agency, and let us know why. You must include the rationale, otherwise we will not give you a shout out. Those of you who do include the rationale will get a shout out later on at 5:40 Eastern Time. But real quick, I want to briefly go through last night's betting recap, because we have way too much to get into with March Madness underway here in college hoops. But last night in college basketball, not the greatest. Kansas State, they just let me down against Baylor. That was not fun. Cal first half wasn't great because Cal ended up covering the full game, so I got a little bit too cute there. Then Seton Hall with a chance to cut it to 10 with under 30 seconds to go, smoked the layup. They don't foul. They lose by 12. See you later, Femi. No money for you on that one. But we did win with UCF in the first half, plus the 5.5 against Kansas. And then also Montana, the Grizzlies, they punched their ticket to the dance, plus 2.5 in the Big Sky Championship game as they win outright against Northern Colorado. The NBA was great. Chet Holmgren, he goes over his points prop, over 15.5. Great game for Chet Holmgren, 23 points against Boston. Jalen Green got me to the green, over 20.5 points. He ends up with 29 against Phoenix. Jalen Wells with a dud, 3 points last night against the Utah Jazz. And then Lucas Raymond, who somehow the Detroit Red Wings, they scored 7 goals last night. Lucas Raymond couldn't score any of them. But you know what? That happens sometimes on the ice. But let's go ahead and celebrate March Madness, because how great is ball? Like, how great is March Madness as we are 1 week away from the first round of the NCAA tournament, and it's an absolutely phenomenal week of basketball ahead. I mean, games all day today. We've had some fun finishes in the Big 12, some interesting games, some big-time storylines, which we'll get into shortly here. We have games all day tomorrow, all day Saturday, leading into Selection Sunday, which I'd be remiss if I didn't remind everybody, You Better You Bet's countdown to tip-off from 7 to 9 Eastern Time, Selection Sunday, right after the bracket is released. Nick and Brad Evans giving you all the analysis that you need to help you win money this NCAA tournament. So make sure you tune into that one. But, I mean, we have an awesome slate during the show today, which is going to be a really, really fun. Nick and I will be sweating that all throughout the show. Colorado, Houston's about to get underway. San Jose, New Mexico in the Mountain West. In fact, I have a bet in that game. I'm rocking with San Jose State plus the 16. Plug your nose special against the top-seeded New Mexico Lobos. You know, Richard Pitino, not as great a tournament coach as his dad, Rick Pitino. I look to fade him as a big favorite. I think San Jose State can at least keep it somewhat close against New Mexico State in this spot down in Vegas, where I happen to live. A few miles away from me over at the Thomas and Mack Arena there on the south side of town. But plus 16 with San Jose State. I do like that. That game's set to tip off here in just a matter of moments in Las Vegas. But we also have Texas A&M. That is going to tip off later on in about 40 minutes or so, give or take, whatever the hell happens in this Arkansas Ole Miss game, because that's the first game in the SEC tournament. But I will have a bet in Texas and Texas A&M, which I will give out in 20 minutes before we get to our top headlines on this Thursday. And then also in the Mountain West, a little bit later on this evening, early evening for you guys out there on the East Coast, let's just say mid-afternoon for us on the West Coast, Boise State and San Diego State, which is pretty much an elimination game. Like, this is a massive, massive game. The winner of this game is in a good spot on the bubble to make the tournament. The loser, I think the loser might be done. The loser might be out. So, like, this is an NCAA tournament game in the Mountain West tournament. I have a bet in that game, which I'll give out at the bottom of the hour, as well with the Iowa and Illinois game in the Big Ten. That game tips off during the NBC Sports Now Power Hour at 6:30 Eastern Time. But currently in progress, we have a lot going on. A few games, though, that really stand out. Arkansas, Ole Miss, we're late in the second half. down in Nashville. Ole Miss with a 72-77 lead, 77-72 lead, I should say, for the Ole Miss Rebels. And then North Carolina, squarely on the bubble, trails Wake Forest 14-10 midway through the first half. And then in Indianapolis for the Big Ten tournament, Wisconsin has a 24-19 lead against Northwestern. But the big headline from the early action today in college basketball has to be with the Duke phenom freshman Cooper Flagg, who injured his ankle in the first half of their win over Georgia Tech. But when Cooper Flagg left the game, Duke was trailing 26-17. It would look like a bad ankle injury where like the ankle was almost looking like it was 90 degrees on a rebound. He left the game as they were trailing. Just a scary situation, I think, for not just Duke fans, Duke bettors, but also just general like college basketball fans. Like if you're listening to this show, you've heard us talk about college basketball. We love college basketball. We want to see the best players play in March. And Cooper Flagg is probably the best player in the country. Like he's going to be the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft coming up this summertime. A bummer if he were to have to miss extended time in the most important time of the college basketball season. I mean, at halftime, they were showing shots of him in a wheelchair. Like he was in a wheelchair with the shoe off. It was the left ankle that he injured. That was not a great sign. But on a more positive note, he did return to the bench to at least watch his team win the game against Georgia Tech. So I'm assuming that I don't think that they would have put him back out there on the bench if it was a really, really like severe injury. My guess is that it's kind of touch and go, and they want to go ahead and get x-rays and see where things are at. In fact, John Shire, head coach of the Duke men's basketball team, said that that's what they're going to do. So there's not like really like a timetable or any sort of prognosis right now, at least, because they're still going to undergo some of those tests. But I would at least expect that the fact that they put him back out there on the court to watch his team play. He didn't have anything like a boot or anything like that. He still had his shoes on. You can see the ankle was a little bit bulky because I'm assuming they probably heavily taped it and they had him put his sock on and stuff like that. Like it was a little bit bulkier than the right ankle. So I'm guessing he's going to be at least okay to some degree, the fact that he watched the second half and saw his team win the game. But let's see what happens going forward, though, because I think we've seen the last of Cooper Flagg in the ACC tournament. I feel pretty comfortable saying that at least. Duke plays tomorrow against the winner of this North Carolina and Wake Forest game. That will be the semifinal of the ACC tournament. The first one, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for them to play him in that game or to play him the rest of this tournament because Duke is locked into being a 1 seed. There's nothing for Duke to play for other than, I guess, getting to cut down the nets and say that we're ACC tournament champions. But hey, like Duke also won the ACC last year, I believe it was. So like what's the joy of saying like, oh, we won the ACC tournament, great, and like, at risk of losing the NCAA tournament if you will go ahead and aggravate Cooper Flagg's ankle injury. So I would guess we don't see Cooper Flagg the rest of the way, which sneakily enough, I think puts a lot of onus on North Carolina in the game that's happening right now against Wake Forest where they're trailing. But if they can beat Wake Forest and you get to play a Cooper Flagg-less Duke team tomorrow, like it still counts as a quad 1 win. And that's the big thing that's missing from their resume. They only have one of them so far this season. If you beat Duke, even there's no Cooper Flagg, I think North Carolina might get into the tournament. So if you're a Carolina fan, maybe this is kind of like a plot twist here, which is a team that's sitting right now squarely on the bubble as the last team in a lot of the prognosticators' bracketology. Maybe it's a break for the North Carolina Tar Heels if they can get by Wake Forest this afternoon to go ahead and play Duke tomorrow against the Cooper Flagg-less Duke Blue Devils, which I'm at least anticipating given the injury that Flagg suffered earlier this afternoon. But the big thing for Duke will be how do they handle the NCAA tournament next week? Because Selection Sunday will get the bracket coming out on Sunday afternoon. And I know people will probably go out there and say, oh, conspiracy, the committee's trying to help out Duke. No, the dates have already been set. The dates are set like years in advance. And luckily for Duke, they're going to play in the Raleigh site because it's close to home for them. They're a 1 seed. Like that's what happens. Like you get the regional preference as a 1 seed. So Duke will be playing in Raleigh. And luckily for Duke, the Raleigh games will be played Friday for the first round and then Sunday for the second round. So they do at least get a little bit of a break there with the scheduling that'll be Friday, Sunday, as opposed to Thursday, Saturday. So an extra day of rest for Cooper Flagg if they want to play him in the first round against a 16 seed on Friday. But most importantly, which I think is how they're going to end up handling this thing, who knows? We'll see what happens with all the X-rays and all that stuff. Maybe they get good news and they can play him tomorrow. Who knows? I'm guessing that's not going to happen, but you never know with all these injuries and how these guys bounce back from this stuff. But I think the safe thing for Duke would be to hold him out until the round of 32, which is the second round next Sunday. That would give him more than a week to rest up and at least heal from what looked like a pretty scary ankle injury. So Duke, at least from a scheduling standpoint, gets a little bit of a break there to where they don't have to rush him out there for a Thursday game. And the fact that they're a 1 seed, look, they should be able to beat any 16 seed without Cooper Flagg. If you can't beat the 16 without Cooper Flagg, you were never going to win the tournament with Cooper Flagg. So Duke should be able to be fine on Friday. And then Sunday, let's see who they get in that 8-9, whoever ends up coming out of that game that they'll play on Sunday. And I think at that point, maybe we see Cooper Flagg return. So I'm guessing that they're more on the cautious side, given the setup that they have heading into the NCAA tournament. But we did see the betting market go crazy. Like we saw the betting market go crazy during this situation, during the injury, when we didn't know how Cooper Flagg was going to respond to that injury. Like Duke, heading into today's game, they were pretty much a co-favorite to win the national title next month in San Antonio. But one prominent domestic sports book went as far as dropping Duke's odds to plus 700 after the injury. They've since been restored to plus 350, but that just goes to show you like some of the chaos that happens in these big situations when an impactful player all of a sudden gets removed from the rotation. So we did see that happen, plus 700, but now it's back to plus 350. So if you grab some of that plus 700, kudos to you in doing that. But also, in addition to the national title market, we did see the Wooden Award market condense as well at a prominent sports book to where pre-injury, Flagg was minus 290, Janai Broome plus 230, the Auburn big man. Post-injury, Flagg is now minus 195, Broome plus 150. And important to note, the voting for the Wooden Award isn't due until after the Elite Eight in a couple of weeks. So we'll see what happens with the National Player of the Year. I'm guessing that Cooper Flagg is likely going to win it, but Janai Broome has at least this weekend down in Nashville to maybe make his case while Cooper Flagg is on the mend and trying to get ready and right for the NCAA tournament. So a lot to get to all across college basketball. The Flagg injury, of course, the biggest news of the day, as we'll be tracking that all throughout the show. But up next, a bet that I have in Texas A&M, as well as the top headlines here on a Thursday on You Better You Bet.
We'll be right back with You Better You Bet, presented by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas.
O'Reilly. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, don't miss Power Torque Tools DIY days at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, save $20 on a Power Torque 248-piece mechanics tool set. O Rewards members get a $5 reward. Power Torque professional hand tools come with a lifetime guarantee. Visit your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league. It's sharp and it's electric. 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf with 24 of the best players from the PGA Tour. Playoffs are here, Monday, March 17th. 1 seed LA versus 4 seed New York at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2 and ESPN+. Tuesday, March 18th, 2 seed the Bay versus 3 seed Atlanta at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN and ESPN+. Tune in to catch all the TGL playoff action. Keep up, it's golf.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online, no medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
All power, zero compromise. Ego cordless outdoor power equipment features advanced lithium battery technology that exceeds the power and performance of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. From blowers and trimmers to mowers and pressure washers, one battery powers over 90 tools. No wonder it is the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Power beyond belief. Visit egopowerplus.com to learn more or to find an Ego retailer near you. That's egopowerplus.com.
Baseball opening day is right around the corner, and the Daily Tip with Michael Jenkins and Chelsea Messenger are loading the bases.
The only thing, which I know we're going to say at some point, aren't you always afraid of the Mets metting? Like, isn't that part of their DNA?
I think it's a good roster. It's a really good lineup, of course, with Juan Soto now in the mix.
When you sign a superstar like Juan Soto, arguably the best guy on the planet, which is why he reset the market and signed this deal, then your expectations should be sky high.
But still, you're going to have 52 regular season games against your divisional opponents, and you have some good ones. The NL East is tough. You've got the Braves, who are usually regular season juggernauts, and you've got the Phillies. But still, it's a tough division, so I think I'll go under their win total of 91.5, just simply because it's a high total.
Wake up with a Daily Tip with Michael Jenkins and Chelsea Messenger. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on the BetMGM Network. Listen anywhere on the go with the free Odyssey app or watch on YouTube.
Let's get back to You Better You Bet on the BetMGM Network.
Welcome back. This is You Better You Bet here on the BetMGM Network. Femi Abebefe hanging out with you guys on this Thursday of Conference Championship Week. Fun week in college basketball. Unless you bet Marquette. If you laid 2.5 with Marquette, they're currently down 41-33 here in the first half. But still a lot of basketball left to go. So we'll see what happens with the Big East quarterfinal between Marquette and Xavier. But the big news in college hoops, before we go ahead and get to our executive producer, Bill Zimmerman, a little bit of housekeeping notes in college basketball. The big news in college hoops, Cooper Flagg suffering a left ankle injury in Duke's win over Georgia Tech. Flagg left the game late in the first half when Duke was trailing by 9. They ended up rallying back and beating Georgia Tech 78-70. But after the game, head coach John Shire of Duke had this to say about Cooper Flagg's status going forward.
I'll just tell you real quick, look, Malik was in a lot of pain, and he redislocated his shoulder. That's why, I'm sure some of you saw it. We got him a stretcher just because to tolerate the pain, and it's he was in a lot of pain, and he's at the hospital now. We'll figure out how he's doing. I'm going to try to figure out if I can go see him right now. And Cooper, he just came down, sprained his ankle. X-rays were negative, which is great. We just have to understand there's going to be swelling and to see how he recovers and how he goes from there. But proud of this team to step up without two of our key guys.
So that was John Shire, Duke men's head basketball coach, on Cooper Flagg, and also Malik Brown, one of their better defenders, who aggravated a shoulder injury. He was already had the shoulder and a harness out there on the court, and then you see him grabbing it. So not a good afternoon for the Duke Blue Devils, but they do get the victory over Georgia Tech, and they advance to the ACC tournament semifinals. So that is Duke and the Cooper Flagg injury, which of course we'll be tracking all throughout the show, talking about it all throughout the show, because it's a pretty impactful player for the co-favorite to win the national title, that being the Duke Blue Devils. I'll save my bet for Texas A&M coming up for the next segment, because Arkansas Ole Miss, it looks like we might be headed to overtime with this one. It's 78-77, 50 seconds left. There's at least 20 minutes between games, so this game will not start at 3:30 Eastern as originally scheduled. So we'll do Texas A&M bets coming up later on to end the hour. But joining me right now to help continue our celebration of March Madness is our executive producer, one Bill Zimmerman. Bill, happy March Madness to you, buddy. Like I said at the start of the show, I think this is a very underrated day on the sports calendar that gets kind of caught up in the hoopla of next week. But man, we got college basketball sun up to sundown. We got bets sun up to sundown, baby. This is pretty damn fun.
Oh, it's a lot of fun here as we're praising the Ducks. I'm cursing the Cyclones, and now I'm sweating out in Arkansas, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. And that was the one that, the Cyclones, I laid the 3 there, and it's just man, the injuries, and the Iowa State got cold in the second half. But no excuses, things happen. We did get the Ducks home, and we did get the over in Georgia Tech and Duke home, thanks to the final 3 minutes, which I think I saw about 40 free throws in the final 3 minutes of that game. So we always appreciate the parade to the free throw line whenever we have the over. So that was nice to hit that one. But enough of that. Let's get to our top stories that we have on this Thursday. Bill, what's the number one thing we need to know this afternoon?
All right, Femi, we're going to be talking about college basketball all show here, but let's dive into some NFL news, because the Pittsburgh Steelers have signed a quarterback. No, not the guy you're thinking of, but they have signed Mason Rudolph, 2 years, $8 million. Now, obviously, I would think Mason Rudolph, the plan there is QB2, Femi. But at the same time, you could say this is an insurance policy in case Aaron Rodgers is not a Pittsburgh Steeler in 2025.
Yeah, that's sort of what this feels like. Because I don't think Russell Wilson's going back there. In fact, Russell Wilson earlier today was in Berea, Ohio, meeting with the Cleveland Browns, and now he's about to go meet with the New York Giants. I'm assuming that meeting will take place tomorrow at the Giants facility out there in the Meadowlands. So it feels like the Steelers and Russell Wilson are parting ways, even though no announcement has been made. So if you're Pittsburgh, you can't go into this thing completely naked with no quarterback. Because Aaron Rodgers, we've seen reports from NFL Network's Peter Schrager saying he might not make a decision for 4 weeks. We're talking about mid-April before this guy might make a decision, which we're getting close to the draft. At that point, I think you'd want to have a quarterback on your roster. So I think that there's just a big-time uncertainty if you're Pittsburgh. So you need to at least cover your bases a little bit. And they're doing it with a guy that's very familiar with their organization, the team that drafted him. He was there for a number of years, started a decent amount of games for the Pittsburgh Steelers, started a decent amount of games for the Tennessee Titans last year. Didn't really go well, but at least he has experience as a starter. I think the ideal scenario for Pittsburgh would be, hey, Mason Rudolph is QB2, but break glass in case of emergency, he at least can be QB1 if needed. Now, would that be a disaster? Yeah. You go into this offseason and you come out of it saying that our QB1 is Mason Rudolph for week 1. That's not what you want if you're Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So my guess, this is just insurance and the big plan of Aaron Rodgers, or maybe throughout the draft. Maybe that comes to fruition sometime in April, but we're hoping this Rodgers saga can end by the next week, because I'm sick of talking about Aaron Rodgers. Let's get him on a team, let's analyze it, and let's move forward with our lives. But you never know with that guy. He might draw this thing out all the way until next month. All right, Bill, hit me with another one.
Well, story number 2 is that the Arkansas Razorbacks have lost the game to Ole Miss. Free at basically the buzzer. Just brutal. No. Brutal finish there.
Don't you just love March? I mean, goodness gracious.
83-80 Ole Miss here, Femi. All right, let's move into story number 2. Trey Hendrickson, of course, Cincinnati Bengals edge, is still a member of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, according to Diana Rossini, the reason for that is that the Bengals' asking price in the trade is currently way too high. Teams not interested to pay the price. The price is reported right now to be a first-round pick plus something in additional, and teams seem to be late second, maybe a third-round pick. They're not willing to pay Trey Hendrickson $30+ million a year and give up that high of a pick here. So, Femi, how do you think this one's going to play out with Hendrickson and the Bengals?
Yeah, my guess is that we still see Trey Hendrickson get traded. This to me feels a little bit like negotiating through the media, a little bit of posturing from both sides. I'm sure the Bengals have their demands, and then the teams that are in the Trey Hendrickson sweepstakes are like, hey, the price is ridiculous, to kind of get that narrative floated out there in the media, because we're all wondering what's going to happen with him, because this is the guy that last year led the NFL in sacks. It wasn't Myles Garrett, it wasn't TJ Watt, it wasn't Micah Parsons or whoever you think it might be. It was Trey Hendrickson of the Cincinnati Bengals, which is pretty remarkable, based on the fact that this team was below 500 all 16 or 17 weeks until the final week of the regular season was when they initially then finally got over the 500 threshold there. So Hendrickson had a great season, and I don't think Cincinnati wants to pay him what he wants. And it does sound like, just based on reading a lot of these reports, that teams out there, and especially the report from Diana Rossini of The Athletic, teams out there do want to pay Trey Hendrickson, but they just don't want to have to give up just an obscene amount of draft capital to do it. So I think that the two sides, whoever it is, insert team A and then the Cincinnati Bengals, I think the two sides will ultimately mend fences and find some kind of a common ground. And whoever that team is, if it's the Washington Commanders or if it's the Atlanta Falcons or the Buffalo Bills or whoever is looking for a pass rusher, it could be any of these teams, because Hendrickson could be a nice fit for anybody when you look at how good he is at getting to the quarterback. I think that's a big, big coup. And if you're a team like the Commanders who can take on a big salary with a quarterback that's on a rookie deal, this is the kind of deal that you get done. And there were some reports last week that said the Commanders were very interested in Trey Hendrickson's services. So I would kind of put them at the top of the list. And if they do get Hendrickson, that's a team that, yes, the gap is still there between them and Philadelphia, but it's starting to shrink a little bit. And I would actually think of the Commanders as maybe the second or third best team in the NFC. Now, they have to get over the Eagles hurdle, but they're at least kind of clearing the hurdle of those other teams that are looking to take down the defending Super Bowl champions. For Cincinnati's side of it, boy, you lose Sam Hubbard to retirement, you trade Trey Hendrickson. This is what we've been talking about all offseason long with the Bengals. need to improve the defense. You got an Al Golden to replace Luan Arumo. Since then, pretty much done nothing. So I don't know how it's going to change from what we saw last year. So more down on Cincinnati and then definitely in on whoever gets Hendrickson because he's that impactful of a player. Bill, hit me with another one.
All right, Femi, besides Mason Rudolph, we have some more quarterback news. Mac Jones signs a 2-year, $7 million deal with the San Francisco 49ers. Now, a lot of us know the story back in 2021. The reporter, I guess, rumors were the Niners couldn't really decide between Trey Lance and Mac Jones. Rumors even deeper were saying that John Lynch was the Trey Lance guy and Kyle Shanahan was the Mac Jones guy. Obviously, eventually they go Lance with that after trading up to the number 3 pick. And now, Femi, looks like the Niners are giving their other guy a chance. Mac Jones here is the Niners QB2.
Yeah, we've come full circle, baby. Mac Jones was always destined to be a San Francisco 49er. Like, this is, as long as Kyle Shanahan was the head coach, at some point in Mac Jones's career, he was going to end up on the 49ers. Now, all jokes aside with all the Mac Jones, Niners, Kyle Shanahan stuff, like, this is actually a pretty solid move by the 49ers. Look, like, Brock Purdy, like, yeah, he has been a durable player, but, you know, he did play in, 16 games last year, 15 games. Like, you know, quarterbacks, they get hurt. Like, you can't expect your quarterback to play all 17, so you might as well get a guy that you feel is a perfect fit for your system. Kyle Shanahan, by all indication and all the reports that Bill mentioned, he was infatuated with Mac Jones and had to be talked into Trey Lance. This is the guy he always wanted. So, for a quarterback like Mac Jones, why don't you go out there and go to San Francisco and maybe go through this QB rehab, the same QB rehab that Sam Darnold went through a couple years ago before he had his breakout season with the Minnesota Vikings. So I think it's smart on Mac Jones' front. I think it's smart on the 49ers front. Make sure you have a nice QB2, especially when you're expected to be a contending team in the NFC, not just in your division, but in the entire conference. So I can't knock the move, even though Mac Jones has some funny moments, and I don't think he's a good quarterback, but as a backup, yeah, you can do a hell of a lot worse than Mac Jones as the backup quarterback. So good move by the 49ers to get this done. At least have them sleep well at night, having some insurance behind Brock Purdy at quarterback. Bill, hit me with another one.
All right, Femi, let's switch over to the NBA here because we know about the LeBron James injury. Injured his groin over the weekend against the Celtics, of course, ended that Lakers winning streak. He has left the road trip, returned to L.A. to rehab the injury. Now, Femi, seems like that's progressing okay, but it does look like LeBron's still going to be out. You know, they're saying a week, maybe 2.
Yeah, it's a tricky one because LeBron at 40 years old, you know, it's like he used to be the bionic man that never got hurt, but now he's a little bit older. So these injuries, they tend to take a little bit more time. Now, the good thing is that when the night it happened, Saturday night when they lost to the Boston Celtics, LeBron did say that, hey, like, I don't think it's as severe as the one that I had. Like, I think it was last year when he had a bad groin injury. It might have been the year before that, but he's had a bad groin injury in the past, but he doesn't think that it's like that this time. It's a little bit more mild. So LeBron, like, rest up, get healthy. I'm assuming that at some point next week when they do return home from this road trip, we'll have some more clarity on his status, but they need him back quick, fast, in a hurry because the Lakers, you don't want to keep slipping and dropping these games. Like, you lose to Boston, that's one thing. You lose to the Brooklyn Nets like they did earlier this week, that's another. You can't afford to do that in a hotly contested 2-seed race in the Western Conference where you have Denver, you have Memphis, all these teams, and even Houston, maybe, if the Houston Rockets can go on some kind of a run. They might try to challenge for that 2-seed. All of these teams, if you want to throw them into that little group there, they're all separated by 2 games. So you cannot afford to drop games unnecessarily if you're the Los Angeles Lakers. So get LeBron back as soon as possible, and then hopefully the Lakers can hold on. As somebody who has some Lakers stock heading into the playoffs, I'm hoping that they can hold on to the 2-seed to where they can avoid the likes of a Golden State Warriors or a Minnesota Timberwolves. So when they get LeBron back, I think they'll be fine, but that's the big key for the Los Angeles Lakers. Bill, hit me with another one.
All right, Femi, let's talk a little baseball here. Kansas City Royals star Bobby Witt Jr., of course, one of the contenders this year for AL MVP, hit by a pitch in his forearm on Wednesday. Major contusion, but the x-rays were negative, so it looks like Witt's going to avoid a major injury here, but there's right now, Femi, no timetable for his return.
Yeah, on one side of it, it's like, hey, great news. It's not a major injury. On the other side, it's like, well, there's also no timetable. Now, that might just be maybe they want to do some more tests and do all that stuff, and maybe we'll find something out later this afternoon or tomorrow. But, man, this could be a big deal. Like, you look at the betting markets, like AL MVP, he's the second choice in that betting market. Like, Judge is the favorite, the reigning AL MVP. Witt's plus 350. Another guy, Gunnar Henderson, plus 550. And he's dealing with an injury to where, like, the Orioles are trying to figure out whether he's going to be available for opening day or not. So now you have two of the top three choices. Like, you don't want to remove them because the baseball season is so long and they can get back and they can do their thing and be productive and all that guard. But boy, like, you don't want to be dropping games and then, like, all of a sudden now it's like, hey, maybe Bobby Witt Jr. is not healthy until mid-April, or maybe it's late April. Like let's not like go too crazy with this, but also be very cautious going forward with this Bobby Witt Jr. injury, because he is so important to that Royals team with what he does defensively, what he does on the base paths, and also what he does with his bat. Like, he is the complete five-tool player, and if he has to miss any kind of time to start the year, it's a little bit concerning for all those big things that the Royals think that they might be able to do in regards to winning the AL Central, and also the things that Witt might be able to do in regards to winning American League MVP. So this is one that we must have our eye on heading into opening day, which is now 2 weeks from today. Those are our top headlines. Thank you to Bill Zimmerman, our executive producer here on You Better You Bet, for giving us the top headlines on this Thursday. Want to go out there and give a couple of score updates while we had some time before the break here. Wisconsin's up 37-30 at halftime. That game has gone to half in Indianapolis in the Big Ten tournament. They're up 37-30 against Northwestern. And then also North Carolina has taken the lead 33-31 at halftime in Charlotte for the ACC tournament. So the Tar Heels, big game for them. They're right there on the bubble. If they can win this game, they will advance to play Duke in the semifinals tomorrow night down there in Charlotte, which, of course, the Cooper flag status, the big story in that game going forward for the Duke Blue Devils. So that's what we have going on right now. We'll get to all of our bets. You'll get bets from Jake Hassan, bets from Tyler Morales, bets from yours truly to wrap up this 3 o'clock hour here on a Thursday, a glorious Thursday, a March Madness.
We'll be right back with You Better You Bet, presented by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer, don't miss Power Torque Tools DIY days at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, save $20 on a Power Torque 248-piece mechanics tool set. O Rewards members get a $5 reward. Power Torque professional hand tools come with a lifetime guarantee. Visit your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league. It's sharp and it's electric. 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf, with 24 of the best players from the PGA Tour. Playoffs are here, Monday, March 17th. 1 seed LA versus 4 seed New York at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2 and ESPN+. Tuesday, March 18th. 2 seed the Bay versus 3 seed Atlanta at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN and ESPN+. Tune in to catch all the TGL playoff action. Keep up. It's golf.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
All power, zero compromise. Ego cordless outdoor power equipment features advanced lithium battery technology that exceeds the power and performance of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. From blowers and trimmers to mowers and pressure washers, one battery powers over 90 tools. No wonder it is the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Power beyond belief. Visit egopowerplus.com to learn more or to find an Ego retailer near you. That's egopowerplus.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
The best day for great deals on everything for spring is one day, as in the Macy's One Day Sale. Find the best prices of the month on spring essentials, from handbags starting at $49.99 to sheets starting at just $9.99. From 40 to 50% off new looks for the family to 40 to 50% off mattresses from Serta and more. And you can earn rewards even faster during Star Money bonus days. It's a day that's unlike any other day. The Macy's One Day Sale, tomorrow. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another, and don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation, but then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
We're back in the miller's front yard who recently switched to True Green. Their lawn started looking like a golf course, and PGA Tour golfers started showing up. Like this pro, lining up his next shot from this pristine grass. Has to clear the trampoline and a kiddie pool. And lands in the middle of this beautiful True Green lawn. Even the Labradoodle next door wishes this yard were his.
Get a PGA Tour quality lawn for as little as $1 a day. Sign up now at TrueGreen.com. Exclusions apply. See TrueGreen.com for details.
Where'd you get those shoes? DSW has all the shoes you need for whatever you're into. You know, like running shoes that give new meaning to personal best. Or everyday sneakers that make coffee runs look cool. Basically, DSW has all the best styles from the brands that always get it right, like Nike, Brooks, Timberland, and more. Oh yeah, did we mention they also happen to be the perfect price? Find a shoe for every you at your DSW store and DSW.com.
Check out Bet Sweats with Joe Ostrowski and Sam Paniatovich. Weekdays 9 to noon Eastern on the BetMGM Network.
The problem last year with Carolina is that they gave up 534 points. That ain't going to cut it, brother. 534 divided by 17, they were giving up 30 points a game. 31.4 points per game. If they can fix that and shore some of that up, and the offense takes another step, could you be convinced to go over on Carolina this year? Let's say the number 6.5.
Okay, that's something that I can wrap my